Mother Nature isn't through with BC yet. More rainfall warnings have been issued as another blast of wet weather moves through the area. Also, expect plenty of crowds if you're heading to the airport today. YVR says this is expected to be the busiest travel day of the holiday season.
I will be voting in favor of closing because I put more value on students in schools than empty buildings.
And why the school board has voted to close down Vancouver's oldest school. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, December 18th. Welcome to Your Morning, Vancouver. Well, get ready for another soggy day across the South Coast, with Environment Canada issuing yet another rainfall warning for parts of the region. After weeks of storms and soaking rain, Metro Vancouver is bracing for more wet weather in the forecast. Environment Canada says this system could bring significant rainfall to parts of the Lower Mainland, including Coquitlam. Reagan is live this morning there. Reagan, it feels like one warning after another.
Good morning, Carrie. It does. It's a long line of storms that has been hitting the Metro Vancouver and Fraser Valley regions for weeks now. The big concern again today is rain, as the ground is already quite saturated in some areas. And because of that, localized flooding does become a concern. So Environment Canada has issued what it calls a yellow rainfall warning for 50 to 70 millimeters of rain by tonight, including here in Coquitlam and across the North Shore and Howe Sound. Showers are expected to intensify with the heaviest rainfall during the daylight hours. Officials warn water could pool on roads and in low-lying areas, and strong winds later today could lead to another round of localized power outages. While river levels have eased in many areas after earlier storms, the province says additional rainfall could cause some stream levels to rise, particularly in already vulnerable spots. So while no widespread flooding is expected today, do expect a lot of pooling water on the roads, and officials do want people to remain prepared, as we can see how quickly the damage can spread if we get another douse of rain in the coming days. Carrie.
Pretty nasty. Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us live from Coquitlam. Thank you. Well, meanwhile, a special weather statement is calling for strong winds to hit parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley this afternoon. It comes after a powerful windstorm swept through Metro Vancouver Wednesday, leaving trees down on roads and knocking out power to tens of thousands of homes. From Vancouver to the Tri-Cities and the Fraser Valley, trees all over the South Coast were uprooted or snapped in half. No match for the power of the wind. A large tree hit a townhouse complex on Burke Mountain in Coquitlam, shearing the side off of a corner unit. The family that lives there has been displaced. Other trees landed on cars and power lines. So far, there are no reports of injuries.
We went to bed, then all of a sudden we heard the wind kicking up, and it was making a hell of a racket.
The wreaths that are on our windows were banging, and they kept waking us up, and then there was branches falling from trees, and they were hitting the windows and hitting the roof. And got up this morning and we saw that the tree had come down across the street and taken the power lines down.
At the peak of the storm, 120,000 BC Hydro customers were without power. And as the flood cleanup continues in the Fraser Valley, Premier David Eby says he will be calling on the federal government for help. Farmers are still dealing with the mess left behind when the Nooksack River in Washington state spilled its banks last week. Sumas Prairie farms and businesses were flooded, and a section of Highway 1 in Abbotsford was shut down for nearly 48 hours. Eby says the impacts have been devastating, and he will be talking about flood prevention at the First Minister's meeting today with the Prime Minister and other premiers.
This is also a national issue. This is our Highway 1. This is a major goods corridor for the entire country. And addressing Highway 1 stability, ensuring that it's protected from floods from Washington state.
Eby met with farmers and city officials in Abbotsford Tuesday. It's estimated more than 175,000 birds were lost on poultry farms during the flood, on top of damage to structures. Well, tens of thousands of people are expected to cross through Vancouver International Airport today, marking the busiest travel day of the holiday season. More than 76,000 passengers are expected to pass through the airport today. Overall, 1 million people are anticipated to come through YVR during the holiday season, which is defined as between December 1st and January 12th. The next busiest travel days include next Monday, the 22nd, and the following Monday, December 29th. Opposition city councillors in Vancouver are sounding the alarm this morning after a motion was approved to make drastic changes to the downtown east side. They worry it will only make things worse for some of the city's most vulnerable. The staff report passed allowing towers of up to 32 stories to be built, lowering the shelter rate and accelerating the replacement of single-room occupancy buildings. Councillor Rebecca Bly voted against the motion in 2023. Then with the ABC party, she tabled a motion to spearhead this work. However, she says the report strayed from what her motion sought to achieve, which was a plan that intertwined healthcare and economic development with housing.
I think it focuses too much on towers over the balancing of the community services that's required down there. So this is not about protecting status quo. It's about not coming in with a blunt tool.
The status quo on the downtown east side is not working for residents, for tenants, or for the people living in crisis. Doing nothing is not compassionate, and delay is not a plan.
The Minister of Housing, Christine Boyle, says the province will be watching the plan closely to see how affordable and below-market homes may be impacted. Well, the oldest school in Vancouver is set to close permanently. The Vancouver School Board has voted to close Sir Guy Carleton Elementary, a decision close to a decade in the making. The vote was 6-3. The school has been closed since a fire back in 2016, and VSB staff noted around $650,000 has been spent to maintain the vacant building. They say major capital funding would be needed from the provincial government for the school to be safe and usable. The VSB adds they were denied multiple funding requests to seismically upgrade and repair the buildings.
I will be voting in favor of closing because I put more value on students in schools than empty buildings.
This decision coming after much community pushback. The VSB will now assess other uses for the property. Well, drivers in the Lower Mainland may be getting an early Christmas present. According to analysts at GasBuddy.com, fuel prices are falling across the country. Gas prices at some stations can be seen as low as 129.9 cents a litre. Overall, the average gas price in BC is sitting at $1.38 a litre. Analysts say the reason for the drop is a larger increase in oil production and the geopolitical conflict between Ukraine and Russia.
We're seeing a downward trend currently, and for this year, it could have been far worse. You may recall a few years ago, it definitely was. So we are continuing that trend.
The trend is expected to continue into the new year. The national average price of gas in Canada is on the cusp of dipping below $1.25 a litre for the first time since April 2021. Well, it will soon be a new era for the Oscars. YouTube has signed an exclusive deal to stream the Academy Awards.
And the Oscar goes to Mikey Madison.
YouTube will take the reins in 2029 and will live stream the red carpet arrivals, the awards show, the moments from behind the scenes. The Oscars is still the highest profile and most watched awards show. ABC has had the rights since 1976. That deal ends in 2028. Starting the year after that and until 2033, American YouTube subscribers will get exclusive access, and so will 2 billion other YouTube users around the world. Wow, okay, so a few years from now, a new era will begin. That's quite significant.
It really is. I mean, big for YouTube, but I mean, a lot of people use streaming services anyway. I mean, just tell me where to look at the gowns.
Well, ABC, and then in a few years, it'll be on YouTube.
Noted.
Or just on your Instagram feed, because I know there's a lot of that at those award shows as well.
What would we do without Instagram? Yes. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Right now in Vancouver, it's rainy and it is 7 degrees. It's going to be gusty a little bit later on as well. Now, just as I was walking up here, we've got more snowfall warnings in effect, so I'll have to adjust all of this. But we do have a yellow warning for rainfall in Metro Vancouver area, up to 50 to 70 millimeters expected to fall. We also have snowfall warnings throughout other parts of the province, and I'll update that for the next update here. But this is our storm tracker. Yes, a very, very wet morning, so give yourself some extra time. A very heavy rainfall this afternoon, hence the rainfall warning. But as you're heading home, looks like a bit of a clearing trend, but haven't we learned anything? Just when you think it's cleared, it has not. We've got another system moving in, making another messy commute tomorrow. Going to have showers off and on throughout the day tomorrow, and then rain for the weekend. So Merry Christmas. As for your almanac for today, we're going to hit a high of 8 degrees, which is above average, which is just a little bit below what we hit last year. And keep your umbrellas handy because 'tis the season. Carrie?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Caroline. It's 6:10 right now. The holiday feast is something families look forward to every year, but what will that meal look like this year?
I was trying to buy everything on sale. Very expensive this year. The prices have really went up.
How much holiday grocery staples will cost this year? What's gone up in price and what hasn't? That story is still to come, but first.
Quite frankly, after years of record-breaking numbers of people coming to British Columbia to Canada, it gives us a moment to breathe.
Going, gone. Why more people are leaving BC than coming in and what that means for our economy. Stay with us. Welcome back. BC has seen its first annual population drop on record, according to the latest data from Statistics Canada. And it's a similar trend across the country that could have a direct impact on the economy. So what's behind the sudden drop? CTV's Heather Wright reports.
The federal government promised to, quote, get immigration under control, and preliminary numbers from Statistics Canada suggest efforts to curb the number of immigrants are working. Between July 1st and October 1st of this year, Canada's population decreased by about 76,000 people, mainly due to a reduction in the number of non-permanent residents. Stats Can attributes the decrease to record high outflows, with about 74,000 people with a study permit leaving the country.
We needed to bring our immigration level to a more sustainable level, and at the same time, we've doubled down in budget 2025 to attract the best and brightest in our country.
This decrease follows record rates of population growth between 2022 and 2023, an immigration policy aimed at part in helping companies fill thousands of empty jobs following the COVID-19 pandemic. But the increase also exacerbated existing challenges with housing and health care.
One of the things that it doesn't seem to be any huge consensus on is what our perfect immigration levels should be. Exactly.
Michael Hahn is a professor and demographer at Western University and says a shrinking population can have positive impacts, such as driving down housing prices. But he warns there can be negative impacts too, especially when the changes happen so quickly.
You know, wide open, wide shut. Those are the ones that hurt the most. Those are the ones that, universities, colleges, builders, they're not prepared for these abrupt changes because population change, I think optimal population change happens slowly rather than quickly.
More changes to immigration levels are coming, with the federal Liberals vowing to further reduce the number of temporary residents over the next 2 years. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, Canadians still mostly trust the flu shot based on a new survey, but hesitancy is creeping in with worries this year's vaccine is no match for a severe strain. Here's CTV's Adrian Gabriel on how doctors are weighing in.
As cases of the flu rise, so does vaccine skepticism across the country.
For my 3-month-old, we noticed symptoms, and within 24 hours, we went to the ER.
Too young to receive the flu shot, Alexandra Barry's infant daughter's recent influenza battle was an eye-opening experience.
I didn't really understand the severity of it, to be honest with you, until I actually went to the ER.
A new Leger healthcare poll has found that 74% of Canadians say they are somewhat or very confident in vaccines. However, 26% report declining confidence since 2019. The report says that healthcare providers have identified misinformation as one of the key drivers of vaccine hesitancy.
So people in Quebec were the most confident in vaccines. In the prairies and the Atlantic provinces, there was less confidence in vaccines.
The efficacy of this year's flu shot is still being determined.
The circulating strain right now is mostly influenza A, H3N2, and it's a little bit mismatched from what's in the vaccine.
Though doctors we spoke with say the vaccine still provides vital coverage.
Will the seatbelt guarantee to save your life? No. Will it reduce the chance that you get a really bad traumatic injury or die? Yes. Vaccines are the same way.
In the U.S., an advisory panel installed by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been changing some vaccine guidelines. Some doctors believe we're seeing the erosion of long-standing public health protocols.
The politicization of vaccines has caused an enormous amount of damage.
The Barry family are calling on Canadians to get their flu shot to help protect the vulnerable and those like their daughter who aren't old enough to receive one. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, we are getting a look this morning at heart-stopping video minutes after a car crashed through an icy pond. How officers outside of Chicago frantically try to reach those inside in frigid waters. We'll have that just ahead. Plus,
I try and buy everything on sale. Very expensive this year. The prices have really went up.
how much will holiday grocery staples cost this year? We'll tell you what's gone up in price and what hasn't. That's next.
Prepare to be spellbound. Harry Potter, a Forbidden Forest experience, is coming to Vancouver Stanley Park for a limited time. This enchanting illuminated trail invites fans of all ages to step into the magical world of the Forbidden Forest. Enter for a chance to win 4 passes and discover dazzling creatures, cast spells, and create unforgettable memories with your family. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck.
Well, canine genetics company DNA My Dog has revealed the most popular names for dogs this year. For females, the top 5 are Bella, Daisy, Luna, Lucy, and Maggie. Meanwhile, for male dogs, Charlie, Bear, Milo, Buddy, and Cooper. DNA My Dog is sharing some insights as well, saying vintage names like Mabel and Hank are making a major comeback. They also note short and easily recognized names remain popular, especially if you're trying to actually train your dog. Like Spot. Does anyone call their dog Spot anymore?
Rover.
Right.
Benji.
Oh, I love the name Benji. That's such a cute dog's name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't care what you name your dog as long as I can pat your dog.
Yeah, as long as you take the poop off the grass outside my complex, I don't care what you name your dog either.
Well, that too. Let me play with your dog while you clean the poop. There we go. Fixed it. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. Not a very good time to be out there walking your dogs. Look at all of these weather warnings. I'm trying to keep up with them today. Snowfall warnings throughout much of the province. There is a rainfall warning for Metro Vancouver, North Shore, West and North Van, Coquitlam, Maple Ridge, Howe Sound. 50 to 70 millimeters expected to fall today and tomorrow. And with that, let's take a look at your South Coast forecast. Port Hardy, very rainy today and a high of 5 degrees. Campbell River, Comox, periods of rain and 8 degrees there. Tofino, Port Alberta, Nanaimo, Victoria, guess what? Rain. High of 12 in Victoria. As for the Sunshine Coast, not going to see any sunshine today. High of 6 degrees. Whistler, the rain this morning will turn into snow, so that's good news for skiers. 1 degree there. And Squamish, 7 degrees under the rainfall warning. Lower mainland between 5 and 9 degrees. Rainy, rainy, rainy. Will clear tonight, though. But again, tomorrow, another messy commute and then a messy, rainy weekend. So this is what we have in store, Carrie.
Okay.
Umbrella time.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Caroline. Yeah. Well, holiday grocery shopping is underway as families plan their culinary traditions. But will your bill come with sticker shock? CTV's Maria Saru takes a look at some of the prices of your favorite foods.
Grocery stores are getting busy with the holiday season soon in full swing, and some shoppers say they're watching where their dollars go.
I try and buy everything on sale. Very expensive this year. The prices have really went up.
CTV News compared the cost of a cart full of holiday staples this year versus last, using old online flyers and in-store prices. Experts say the price of turkey has stayed relatively stable, but this 6.2 kilogram grade A butterball is over $4 more expensive. This bagged salad is up about $2, and each can of cream of chicken soup costs a little under $1 more. Now, some relief. Frozen baby blend was on sale, 2 for $5. And several items were the same price as last year. A 15-pound bag of russet potatoes, 2 packets of gravy, and a box of shortbread cookies. Now, let's say your family likes a traditional beef roast. Here's a more affordable cut, about 2 kilograms of sirloin tip. Last year, it would have cost nearly $26. This year, closer to $66. That brings our total to nearly $129 compared to $90 in 2024.
The beef prices we're experiencing now are kind of a hangover from dry weather in 21, 22, and 23.
Food economist Mike von Massow says drought across parts of North America drove the price of feed up. And with cattle prices not keeping pace, some farmers shrank their herds. It'll take time to rebuild supply. He adds families are making compromises.
People are buying fewer gifts or cheaper gifts, and then some people are saying we're going to have smaller holiday gatherings.
Back here at the grocery store, shopping the sales and swapping out the protein could help keep costs down.
Wow, I feel like I'm eating the same thing all the time because I always just look for the same items that are on sale. And so like there's zero variety in my house right now. But if you're having a holiday meal, you want to have all the fixings, and that's where it gets expensive.
I can't believe those prices.
Yeah, the beef.
The beef.
Where's the beef? I mean, it's costing a lot more for that beef.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gosh, no, but in all seriousness, a lot of families aren't going to be able to afford a big Christmas dinner, and that's a shame.
Or maybe have to swap out some of the more expensive items for something a little more reasonable. Yeah. It's unfortunate. U.S. President Donald Trump delivered a politically charged speech on primetime television last night. This, as his top trade representative has laid out a list of demands for Canada if a new CUSMA trade agreement is to happen. We'll have more on this development coming up also.
Liam opening with a wrist shot. Scores!
After a big shakeup, the Vancouver Canucks are on a roll without their captain. Is it just a fluke? We'll hear from some of the new players coming up. And
good morning. Get ready for another soggy day on the South Coast. Environment Canada has issued a number of rainfall warnings. I'll tell you which areas will be hit the hardest and how much rain to expect coming up on Your Morning Vancouver.
Everyone, thanks for joining us. Rain is once again falling across Metro Vancouver this morning, with Environment Canada issuing a rainfall warning for the North Shore and northeast parts of the region. It's yet another wet day after weeks of storms that have left the ground saturated. Reagan Hasegawa is in Coquitlam Forest this morning, and it looks pretty wet out there where you are, Reagan.
Good morning, Carrie, and expect a little bit of everything today. Obviously, rain is going to be the main story, but there's also wet flurries for higher elevations in the forecast. And even if you have an umbrella out with you this morning, expect to still get wet because it's quite gusty as well. Environment Canada has issued what it calls a yellow rainfall warning, with the system bringing 50 to 70 millimeters of rain. While river levels have eased in many areas after earlier storms, the province says additional rainfall will cause stream levels to rise, particularly in already vulnerable spots. Wet flurries may mix in over higher terrain this afternoon, especially during the heavier bursts of precipitation. Later today, winds are expected to shift and strengthen, with southwesterly gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour in parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Officials warn that with already saturated soil, strong winds could bring down trees, leading to debris on roads and more possible power outages today. The rain is expected to ease into the evening, but the way this times out, it could possibly impact the afternoon commute, so be aware of that. People are being advised to be cautious, as we know the weather conditions can change quite rapidly. Carrie?
Indeed. Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us live this morning. Thank you. And more on that wind. A special weather statement calling for strong winds is in place for parts of the Fraser Valley and Metro Vancouver. Environment Canada is predicting gusts between 50 and 80 kilometers an hour. They say this could cause tree damage and power outages. Of course, yesterday, thousands were without power due to a strong frontal system with strong wind and rain. The conditions are expected to start later this afternoon and continue into the evening. Alberta is digging out after a nasty snowstorm rocked the region with blizzard-like conditions wreaking havoc on the highways. That includes an incredible 100-car pileup on a major highway between Airdrie and Calgary. This morning, southern Saskatchewan could see up to 20 centimeters of snow, along with winds of up to 90 kilometers an hour. Manitoba will get blizzard conditions beginning this afternoon, and an area of northern Ontario will get even heavier snowfall later tonight. Well, every premier in the country is jockeying to access federal dollars for major projects. David Eby is no exception, and now he has unveiled which projects he wants added to the fast-track list. Speaking to reporters, Eby made the case for the feds to continue to the Massey Tunnel replacement, access to ports, and investments in infrastructure like the flood-damaged freeway in the Fraser Valley. He's also bullish on new mining projects while trying to lure the new Defence, Security and Resilience Bank to Vancouver. He believes the average British Columbian will benefit from his focus on these priorities.
At the end of the day, it means jobs with decent paychecks, it means more prosperity for local communities, and it also means revenue for governments. The fiscal pressures that our province is under, it helps deliver healthcare, education. Coordinated and to
decisions by companies and the feds are expected in the coming months. The United States has given Canada signals of some major policy changes it needs to make ahead of the renegotiation of the current North American Free Trade Agreement, or CUSMA, as it's known in Canada. In a statement to Congress, the Trump administration's top trade representative says Canada must address concerns over market access for U.S. dairy products. They also want Canada to address exports of its dairy products to other countries. Other areas of concern include provincial bans on U.S. alcohol products and Canada's online streaming and online news acts. Meanwhile, reaction is pouring in after Donald Trump's prime-time address to the U.S. During his speech, Trump announced an almost $1,800 holiday bonus for troops, which he says is partly paid for by tariffs.
We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore.
Some speculated Trump would be speaking about an escalating confrontation with Venezuela. Instead, Trump focused on the economy, claiming that prices are falling while blaming Democrats for affordability issues. However, economic data shows U.S. inflation is up while consumer confidence is down. Meanwhile, Trump has also added partisan and subjective plaques to a refashioned West Wing walkway he calls the Presidential Walk of Fame. The move deepens Trump's fingerprints on the White House's aesthetic and continues the Republican president's efforts to bend the telling of the country's history to his liking. The additions include references to Sleepy Joe Biden and painting Republican icon Ronald Reagan as a fan of a young Trump. Well, now to an amazing rescue caught on camera outside Chicago. This video is heart-pounding. Officers jumping into the pond in the dark, temperatures hovering around 0 degrees, and a vehicle carrying 3 people submerged in the water. ABC's Sam Champion has the story.
We're coming. Hang tight, okay? Hang tight, hang tight.
This morning, watch dramatic body camera video showing the moment Illinois police officers raced to save 3 people trapped in the frigid water of a frozen pond. Glendale Heights police responding to reports that a car crashed into the frigid waters outside of Chicago. Air temperature the coldest of the season so far, just 1 degree.
There's a vehicle that drove into a pond
Three subjects, possibly in the water.
Officers Dennis Dachura and Marco Lamibao rushing to the scene, finding the vehicle submerged in 12 to 14 feet of water as the passengers struggled to get out of the car and out of the pond.
We started to see, people's hands in the water or reaching out for air or for just to stay afloat. The responding officers braving the slippery ice and frigid water, even using shovels to help the victims stay afloat.
You're okay. I'm not gonna let go. You're okay. I'm not gonna let go, okay?
At one point, they retrieve a sledgehammer to move the thick ice and reach down to the victims.
Can you reach up? Okay. Can you reach up? No. Come on. Let's go. Come on.
The two then working together to pull each victim out of the pond and up onto the ice.
At that point, it was life or death, and we both decided to choose life, and we're not going to let anything happen on our end.
Well, back to BC now. Heads up for drivers who take the Patella Bridge. Northbound lanes will be closed tonight, followed by a full closure tomorrow. The shutdown will be between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. both days. TransLink says the closure is needed to install structures and signs for the new bridge deck. Pedestrians, cyclists, and emergency vehicles will still have access to the bridge during the closure. Drivers are encouraged to take the Alex Fraser or Port Mann Bridge instead. Well, national pride, bragging rights, and the thrill of victory. There are many benefits to winning the World Cup, including a big payday. FIFA has announced the 2026 champion will take home a record $50 million. The runner-up will collect $33 million, with the third-place side picking up $29 million. All 48 participating teams will get at least $10.5 million, and each qualified side will receive $1.5 million for preparation costs. Okay, big payday there if you're a champion in the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, well, that should cover the cost of a ticket.
Some of those players probably get paid more than that, too, so it's interesting prize money.
I know, right? Who gets the money? How does it get dispersed? Again, more questions than answers. Can't wait for the World Cup, though. Cannot wait. Bring it on. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. CTV weather is brought to you by Craftsman Collision, BC's leader in auto body repair. Not the time to be playing soccer or footy outside, for that matter. 7 degrees, it is rainy, and it is going to stay that way for the rest of the day. Our high today will be 8 degrees, which is above average, which is just below what we hit last year and below the record 12 degrees, which was set back in 1979. Now, I'm having trouble keeping up with all of these warnings today. It's literally changing by the minute. The yellow warning for rainfall is still in effect for Metro Vancouver. A wind warning has been added for Fraser Valley. You can see the little purple right there in the Fraser Valley, and snowfall warnings for various areas throughout the province. So it is another day of active weather. Speaking of active weather, this is our look at your morning commute. Very, very rainy, very heavy rain this afternoon, and then it tapers off come your commute home, come dinner time. Overnight, clear skies until tomorrow morning when we get more rainfall, more heavy rainfall. This rainfall warning is expected to last through tomorrow. So we've got more coming up in the forecast in about 10 minutes of what you can expect for the rest of the week and into the weekend. Spoiler alert, it's wet. Carrie.
Okay, not surprised. Thanks for that, Caroline. Well, Canada is going through a brutal flu season. Just how bad will it get? Still to come, we are going to catch up with an infectious diseases expert and get some tips on how to protect yourself during holiday gatherings. That is still to come, but first.
Our passports are still out there, and we don't really know what to do at this point.
A Vancouver woman's life put on hold when a courier company lost her passport. What happened when CTV looked into it? That's coming up next.
The Millionaire Lottery is back. Your ticket supports specialized adult health care and research at VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation. They depend on people like you to help fund the latest equipment and life-saving research through the Millionaire Lottery. Early bird is worth over $227,000. Choose from a Corvette Stingray and a Hyundai Santa Fe, or a private jet experience plus $25,000 cash, or $150,000 cash, plus 40 winners for $1,000 and 20 winners of $500. The Millionaire Lottery, early bird deadline, midnight Friday.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct. Call and talk to our team today.
Welcome back, everyone. The Vancouver Canucks are undefeated since trading captain Quinn Hughes. Sure, it's only been a couple of games, but the new young players they've acquired are already pitching in. In this week's Ringside Report, CTV's Ben Milger has more on the new makeup of the team.
Noonan Besser heads off. Here's Kane cutting in front. Scores!
The Vancouver Canucks started fast at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night and never looked back, beating the New York Rangers 3-0. That effort coming on the heels of a 2-1 win in New Jersey, the team's first game without recently traded captain Quinn Hughes.
Steve Williams centers, and that went off a devil in.
The centerpiece of that trade, rookie defenseman Zeev Buium scored a goal and added an assist in his first game as a Canuck.
Of course, it feels good, but I think the biggest thing is we got the win, and hopefully we kind of take this with some momentum and go upward.
After weeks of uncertainty and trade rumors, integrating the new guys seemed to ease the tension and even brought some smiles.
It's been nice. We had a team dinner after the Jersey game, and it's kind of the environment that we get to bond with the new guys, and seems like they're fitting in great. So far so good. Thatcher Demko played a huge role in this week's success, surrendering just one goal in the two victories.
When a goalie's seen it like that, the D just do their job. If it's they let them have the strong side shot, and they know Demmer's there. But it gives all our players a lot of confidence.
Despite stringing together back-to-back wins for the first time in nearly 2 months, the Canucks remain in last place in the league. They may now look to unload some more veterans in the trade market, hoping to acquire more draft picks to go with the first-rounder they received from Minnesota in the Hughes deal.
I think they hope that Kiefer Sherwood can fetch a first-round draft pick, and I think they're going to try to build a market around this player, and they hope that he continues to play as well as he has.
With a rebuild now well underway, stand by for more trade chatter. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by Capital Direct.
CapitalDirect.ca.
Well, a Vancouver mother was sent on a holiday roller coaster after her passport and visa went missing in the mail. She was stranded with her career on hold and desperate for a solution. CTV's Craig Krause has the story.
Days before Christmas, a Vancouver family received an unwelcome surprise.
Our passports are still out there, and we don't really know what to do at this point.
Gabrielle Van Claveren and her daughter's passport and visa were nowhere to be found. A devastating blow to the family who put their faith in Purelator delivering their documents in time for the holidays, forcing her to hit pause on her photography career in Los Angeles.
Purelator initiated originally a priority trace, which was a 3-day process for them, and just closed the trace, sort of abruptly and briefly, saying that they have not located the shipment and it's now not deliverable.
So we typed her tracking number into the Purelator tracker, and what we found, you can see it here, that the package left Toronto on December 8th before a short stay in Mount Hope sorting facility, and then on December 9th, there was a weather delay before it arrived in Richmond.
Let's file a trace, see if we can locate it.
But hours after CTV News contacted Purelator about the situation, Van Claveren was hit with a Christmas miracle. All right, Gabrielle, what are you holding in your hands?
This is it. This is my recovered passport and visas, which is just surreal that we've even found this. I can't even tell you.
A roadblock now erased, her career back on track as they set off for Southern California in the coming weeks.
I'm just super grateful, and I honestly think it's just that collective pressure that we put on.
Craig Crowe, CTV News, Vancouver.
Way to go. Well, is Timothée Chalamet moonlighting as a rapper? The actor won't confirm nor deny those rumors, but Stephen Colbert is weighing in. We have your late laugh just ahead. And
it's a habit of mine to watch the sun go down.
On this day in 1950, Canadian singer Martha Johnson from Martha and the Muffins was born in Toronto. She's 75 today.
My job is very boring, I'm an office clerk. The only thing that helps me pass the time away is knowing I'll be back at Echo Beach someday.
It's Time for your milestones. First up, wishing our brother Terry Sampson in Ladysmith a very happy 69th birthday. Thank you for all you do and for your family and for your nation. Enjoy your special day, brother. Love, Rem and Ruby, Tom, plus our cats, Drake and Madonna in Port Alberni.
Drake and Madonna, nice. Happy 26th birthday to our son, Michael. Lots of love from Mom, Troy, Emma, Maisie, Kaylee, and Cody.
Happy birthday to Leona. Hope you have a wonderful day. Love from your family and friends.
Happy birthday, Carrie. Sorry. Sorry for that song.
Is that a birthday song?
It's my birthday medley. From your entire Your Morning Vancouver team, thanks for being the rock of our show every day. Wishing you well and hoping for lots of excitement heading into the new year. We just love you, Carrie. We just love you.
Aw, thanks, everyone. Carrie. That means a lot to me. Great photo you chose, by the way. Send us your milestones to bcmilestones@ctv.ca. I got rain for my birthday today, Caroline.
You do. I think that's supposed to be good luck. If it isn't, we're just going to make it good luck right now. Yeah, it's rainy. You can see the raindrops on the camera, and it's not going to lighten up anytime soon. Happy birthday, Carrie. Let's take a look at the forecast. We've got a lot of warnings to tell you about. In the Coquitlam, snowfall warning, 30 to 40 centimeters. This one just came up, a yellow warning snowfall for Whistler and the Sea to Sky up to 15 centimeters. A wind warning is in effect for parts of the Greater Victoria area and also Fraser Valley, and the rainfall warning is still very much in effect for Metro Vancouver today. 50 to 70 millimeters falling today. There's more. Snowfall warning for the northeastern part of the province and a snowfall warning for the inland coast. Whew. Let's take a breath and let's go through the South Coast forecast now with all the warnings out of the way. Port Hardy, 5 degrees. Campbell River, Comox, high of 8 degrees there. Showers on the South Island today. Victoria will see a high of 12. As for the Sunshine Coast, 6 degrees and rainy. Whistler, snow. The snowfall warning is in effect, and Squamish, 7 degrees under the rainfall warning. As for the lower mainland, between 5 and 9 degrees today. And the 5-day forecast looks like this. Rain, rain, and more rain. Yes, we will get a bit of a reprieve tonight. It will clear tonight, but nope. Tomorrow morning, more rainfall into the forecast. And that's your forecast. Oh, Timothy Chalamet is moonlighting as a rapper. What? Here's Stephen Colbert with your late laugh.
Following speculation online, Timothy Chalamet won't confirm or deny rumors that he's the mysterious British rapper SD Kid. He wouldn't be the first Oscar-nominated actor to secretly be a musician, and who can forget when it was revealed that one of the guys in Daft Punk was Michael Caine. Yeah. Meanwhile, in family food chain athletic footwear news, Denny's is launching syrup-filled sneakers. According to the press release, the limited edition high-top sneakers are made with real Denny's syrup sealed inside the shoe. So at least if you get trapped somewhere without food, you know you'll die in the dumbest shoes possible. Also, there's one notable catch. The syrup in the shoe is not edible. Denny's strongly advises against puncturing the shoes or trying to get a taste. But you just said it was real Denny's syrup. Are you telling me that Denny's syrup isn't edible? Because that checks out. Meanwhile, I go for some pancakes, man.
Oh, yeah.
I can go for a stack of pancakes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a Pittsburgh-based group baked over 83,000 cookies in an attempt to set the world record. That record? Most Tupperware you'll never get back.
They do something with it.
All right,
all those cookies.
No Denny's pancakes for Carrie. No syrup for Carrie.
Well, for anyone, really. Those, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want real syrup in there anyway, but...
well, there goes the birthday gift. No Denny's shoes with syrup in there
that was going to be your gift. Oh, yeah. Darn. Spoiled it. Okay.
Shucks.
You know what? If you gave them to me, I would still wear them. I just wouldn't need it. Yeah. If you're traveling, get ready to pack your patience. The Vancouver airport is going to be a very busy place today. Coming up, how the rest of the holiday season is predicted to look, including the next busiest travel days. We'll have that ahead. Also, school shut down. Why the Vancouver School Board voted to officially close a historic East Vancouver school after nearly a decade of debate. And another rainfall warning has been issued for parts of Metro Vancouver. What you need to know coming up. Well, BC just can't get a break from rough weather. More heavy rain and wind is expected to make its way through Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley today. Also, the rush to get away is here. Vancouver Airport says today is going to be the busiest travel day of the holiday season. And some welcome news for drivers across the Lower Mainland as prices at the pump continues to drop. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, December 18th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. Another round of rain is moving through Metro Vancouver this morning, with Environment Canada cautioning the wet weather is not letting up just yet. The North Shore and northeast parts of the region are once again under a rainfall warning. Forecasters say today's system brings more than just rain, especially for commuters already soaked from recent storms. CTV's Reagan Hasegawa is in Coquitlam for us this morning. Good morning, Reagan. So what does today look like on the ground there?
Good morning, Carrie. It's very gusty out here and rainy this morning, and we are expecting to see conditions change really by hour to hour with the rain, the wind, and even some wet flurries in the forecast for today. Environment Canada says a low pressure system is going to be tracking across the south coast today, delivering 50 to 70 millimeters of rain in parts of Metro Vancouver. The concern is how this rain falls on already saturated ground, which can quickly overwhelm drainage systems and push up stream levels in vulnerable areas. At higher elevations, rain could briefly mix with wet flurries this afternoon as the system exits later today. Winds are expected to turn strong and gusty, with southwesterly gusts reaching up to 80 kilometers per hour, raising the risk of falling trees, debris on roadways, and scattered power outages. The rain is expected to taper off sometime early this evening, which means the timing could be bad for the afternoon commute. Officials are reminding people that the weather is changing very rapidly, because everything is already so rain-soaked. They want people to be prepared for more power outages possible today. Carrie.
Yikes. Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us live this morning. Thanks, Reagan. And a special weather statement is calling for more strong winds, as Reagan mentioned, to hit parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley this afternoon. It comes after a powerful windstorm swept through Metro Vancouver Wednesday, leaving a trail of destruction. From Vancouver to the Tri-Cities and the Fraser Valley, trees all over the south coast were uprooted or snapped in half. No match for the power of the wind. A large tree hit this townhouse complex on Burke Mountain in Coquitlam, shearing the side off a corner unit. The family that lives there has been displaced. Other trees landed on cars and power lines. So far, no reports of injuries.
We went to bed, then all of a sudden we heard the wind kicking up, and it was making a hell of a racket.
The wreaths that are on our windows were banging, and they kept waking us up, and then there was branches falling from trees, and they were hitting the windows and hitting the roof. And got up this morning and we saw that the tree had come down across the street and taken the power lines down.
At the peak of the storm, 120,000 BC Hydro customers were without power. And as the flood cleanup continues in the Fraser Valley, Premier David Eby says he will be calling on the federal government for help. Farmers are still dealing with the mess left behind when the Nooksack River in Washington state spilled its banks last week. Sumas Prairie farms and businesses were flooded. A section of Highway 1 in Abbotsford was shut down for nearly 48 hours. Eby says the impacts have been devastating, and he will be talking about flood prevention at the First Minister's meeting today with the Prime Minister and other premiers.
This is also a national issue. This is our Highway 1. This is a major goods corridor for the entire country, and addressing Highway 1 stability, ensuring that it's protected from floods from Washington state.
Farmers and city officials in Abbotsford Tuesday. It's estimated more than 175,000 birds were lost on poultry farms during the flood, on top of damage to structures. Well, tens of thousands of people are expected to cross through Vancouver International Airport today, marking the busiest travel day of the holiday season. More than 76,000 passengers are expected to pass through the airport today. Overall, 1 million people are anticipated to come through YVR during the holiday season, which is defined as between December 1st and January 12th. The next busiest travel days include next Monday, the 22nd, and the following Monday, December 29th. Opposition city councillors in Vancouver are sounding the alarm this morning after a motion was approved to make drastic changes to the downtown east side. They worry it will only make things worse for some of the city's most vulnerable. The staff report passed, allowing towers up to 32 stories to be built, lowering the shelter rate and accelerating the replacement of single-room occupancy buildings. Councillor Rebecca Bly voted against it in 2023. Then, with the ABC party, she tabled a motion to spearhead this work. However, she says the report strayed from what her motion sought to achieve, which was a plan that intertwined healthcare and economic development with housing.
I think it focuses too much on towers over the balancing of the community services that's required down there. So this is not about protecting status quo. It's about not coming in with a blunt tool.
The status quo on the downtown east side is not working for residents, for tenants, or for the people living in crisis. Doing nothing is not compassionate, and delay is not a plan.
The Minister of Housing, Christine Boyle, says the province will be watching the plan closely to see how affordable and below-market homes may be impacted. The oldest school in Vancouver is set to close permanently. The Vancouver School Board has voted to close Sir Guy Carleton Elementary, a decision close to a decade in the making. The vote was 6-3. The school has been closed since a fire back in 2016, and VSB staff noted around $650,000 has been spent to maintain the vacant buildings. They say major capital funding would be needed from the provincial government for the school to be safe and usable. The VSB adds they were denied multiple funding requests to seismically upgrade and repair the buildings.
I will be voting in favor of closing because I put more value on students in schools than empty buildings.
This decision coming after much pushback from the community. The VSB will now assess other uses for the property. Well, drivers in the Lower Mainland may be getting an early Christmas present. According to analyst GasBuddy.com, fuel prices are falling across the country. Gas prices at some stations can be seen as low as 129.9 cents a litre. Overall, the average gas price in BC is sitting at $1.38 a litre. Analysts say the reason for the drop is a larger increase in oil production and the geopolitical conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Well, 3 police dogs have finished their training and have already got to work fighting crime. Shelby, Sultan, and Sammy are the newest members of the Lower Mainland District Integrated Police Dog Service. They completed their training for frontline duty and explosive detection this fall at the RCMP Police Dog Service Training Center in Alberta. Now they are busy picking up shifts alongside their human policing partners. Well, researchers are turning to lab-grown coral to restore damaged reefs. These coral babies are born in a lab and then put in underwater nurseries. It's tough for coral to reproduce when colonies are far apart. Hopefully, the lab-grown coral will help bridge that distance. Coral can also be transplanted for restoration, but scientists say this method creates a more genetically diverse coral. Okay, maybe that will help solve some of the damages of the great coral reefs that we have around the world.
Yeah, they're saying the Great Barrier Reef is shrinking. Maybe this will help, and yeah, who knows?
Yeah, okay, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, we're keeping an eye on the weather, and we've got a lot of nasty stuff coming our way.
I've been a mess this morning keeping up with all of these warnings and statements, so bear with me. We're on it right now. We got this. All right, let's take a look at the current temperature. It's 7 degrees. It is rainy. It is Vancouver. But okay, the warnings. This is what we have this morning. Snowfall warning in effect for the Coquitlam. Snowfall warning in effect for the Sea to Sky in Whistler. A wind warning is in effect. Now, a yellow warning is in effect for Fraser Valley East, including Hope. A special weather statement is in place for Fraser Valley, including Abbotsford and Chilliwack, the central and western part of that. So, and also the greater Victoria area. Rainfall warning is in effect for Metro Vancouver. Expect 50 to 70 millimeters today. Whew, we're not done yet. Snowfall warning in effect for the Prince George and northeast part of the province, and a snowfall warning for the Central Coast. Whew. Here's a look at your forecast highs. Fort St. John, -21 and snowing. Messy wet weather in the southern interior. And, of course, you saw the snowfall warnings there for the Central Coast. As for your day planner for Vancouver, guess what? It's going to rain. 8 degrees today. And as for your almanac, again, 8 degrees today, which is above average and just a tad lower than what we were last year and below the record set back in 1979. Keep your umbrellas handy. Another day of active weather. Happy birthday, Carrie.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Next time I'll take sunshine. Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's been a year of struggling box office sales, but a highly anticipated film is almost guaranteed to give it a boost.
It's like Christmas morning every day when I see a new VFX shot come in, and it just looks so real and so cool.
Another Avatar movie is getting hyped up for its special effects, but will it be enough to keep a record streak alive? More on that still to come. But first, Canada is going through a brutal flu season right now. Just how bad will it get? Coming up, we'll get some tips from an infectious diseases expert, Dr. Brian Conway, on how to protect yourself during holiday gatherings and keep others from getting sick. Stay with us. The holiday season is a time of joy and togetherness, but while we are preparing to gather with our loved ones, the last thing you want is to deal with getting sick. So how can you protect yourself and your loved ones from the flu? Joining us to discuss is Vancouver infectious diseases expert, Dr. Brian Conway. Good morning.
Good morning, Carrie, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's my birthday show. I appreciate you coming in and talking to us because the flu has been a bad one. It's actually off to a pretty bad start. Cases have been rising across the country. What do we need to know about this year's flu season?
Well, first, it's an early start, a bit more than a bad start. We're seeing positivity rates and case numbers a couple of months earlier than we did last year, but it's no higher. But it is a cautionary tale, and the flu is around.
So is there a group that's most vulnerable right now?
Right now, it's happening in children aged 4 to 19. So it's school-based rather than in older adults in long-term care facilities and the like. But it will also spread there. And it has a risk of spreading over the holidays as we get together in larger numbers indoors and hopefully all vaccinated, but there is a risk of transmission over the holidays, absolutely.
What are we seeing most of right now? Is it flu? Is it RSV? What about COVID? Is COVID still around?
So numerically this week it's the flu. There's about 7,000 cases in Canada, 40% of the total over the course of the year. But over the past week, there have been about 2,000 cases of COVID diagnosed across the country, several hundred cases of RSV. So respiratory virus season is really all three. The flu is having a bad week in terms of transmission right now.
Okay, so we know that people starting right about now are going to be heading off, they're going to be traveling, they're going to be going to family members' places, and they may either pick something up while they're there or take something with them, and we're talking about a virus or flu, to a holiday gathering. What is your advice for people during this time?
Well, first, if you haven't gotten your shots for COVID and for flu and for older adults, those who are eligible to get RSV, they will have kicked in probably by New Year's. It's a bit too late for Christmas, but get your shots. It's really hard when you have family gatherings planned, but stay home if you're sick. And it's still appropriate if you're sick and you want to get together to put a bit of distance, wear a mask. And it's always a good idea to wash your hands more often rather than less often. All that we learned during the pandemic really applies to our real lives, especially during the holiday season.
You know, I know exactly if there was a holiday gathering, what, you know, my friends or family members would say, hey, I'm not feeling well, but come anyway. You know, they want you to be there. So I guess if you are feeling a little under the weather, and you kind of touched on this, I mean, what is the best way to really prevent that spread? You mentioned keeping a little bit distance. Are we talking about, you know, having the hand sanitizer close? Are we talking about wearing a mask, sitting like further distance at the table? Like, what do you recommend there?
Those are all excellent ideas. The time when I would really consider staying away completely is if at the gathering there are older people who are immunocompromised, have multiple other diseases, and if they get these infections, may be hospitalized and potentially succumb to them. So use your judgment, but this idea of, you know, joining a party by Zoom is, you know, something that's better than not being there, and consider that if it's appropriate to do so.
Yeah, if you are really sick and if you know that you're infectious, better to stay away. And then we have that technology now, so it is an option. So you mentioned the flu shot. Not too late to get it, but maybe not in time for it to kick in for the holiday season.
Right, and there's this myth out there that the flu shot isn't working because of this new subclade of flu. Pan American Health Organization came out with clear recommendations. The vaccine will still work against this new strain, perhaps a little less well. It'll prevent severe disease. It'll reduce the risk of transmission. So to say that the flu shot isn't working or to use this as a reason to not get the flu shot is just not consistent with the facts.
All right. Well, hope everyone has a safe and happy holidays and avoids getting sick, because that would be the worst. And appreciate your time coming in, Dr. Brian Conway.
Always a pleasure.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, Carrie.
Good to see you. All right, well, the World Happiness Report is out. How do you think Canadians stack up? Turns out there is one generation that is seen as the unhappiest. We will speak with one of the founding editors of the survey to learn who and why. That's coming up.
It's like Christmas morning every day when I see a new VFX shot come in, and it just looks so real and so cool.
Avatar, another movie. It's getting hyped up for all the special effects. Will it be enough to keep a record streak alive? Stick around. We're back in a moment.
Prepare to be spellbound. Harry Potter, a Forbidden Forest experience, is coming to Vancouver Stanley Park for a limited time. This enchanting illuminated trail invites fans of all ages to step into the magical world of the Forbidden Forest. Enter for a chance to win 4 passes and discover dazzling creatures, cast spells, and create unforgettable memories with your family. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. Welcome back to CTV, your morning Vancouver. It is 7:22. It is Thursday, and it is another day of active weather, so let's just get right to it. Rainfall warning is in effect today. 50 to 70 millimeters expected in Metro Vancouver, North Shore, West and North Van, Coquitlam, Maple Ridge, Howe Sound. Wind warning is in effect for Greater Victoria area and Fraser Valley east towards Hope. Now, a special weather statement is in place. Not a warning, a statement for Fraser Valley, Central and West, Abbotsford, Chilliwack areas. And a snowfall warning for the Coquitlam and a snowfall warning for Whistler and the Sea to Sky. Snowfall warning in the northern parts of the province. 10 to 20 centimeters, I'll be okay. In the northeastern part of the province and towards the central coast, 10 centimeters expected to fall. Here's your forecast for today, if I can spit it out. Rain in Port Hardy today, 5 degrees, periods of rain in Campbell River and Comox, and a high of 8. Wet one throughout the South Island. You're going to see a high of 12 in Victoria. As for the Sunshine Coast, 6 degrees there. Snowfall warning in effect for Whistler today. Squamish, 7 degrees. Lower mainland, very very wet one again today, between 5 and 9 degrees. And here's a look at your 5-day. We will get a reprieve tonight. The rain will clear tonight, but then tomorrow morning it returns and in through the weekend. So with all the rain, I wanted to have a nice serene photo for your scenic snapshot. Thank you, Carly, for sending this in. If you want your photo featured, email us scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Wow, the colors on that are beautiful. Thanks for sending that in. Love it. Okay, it is 7:24. There is big money at the box office this weekend with another Avatar film set to hit the big screen. How many of them are there now? There's already been a lot of buzz about some groundbreaking special effects with this one. So will it live up to the hype? ABC's Danny New reports.
Just like the band Eiffel 65 in 1998, Hollywood is about to go all out in blue. For the third time in 16 years, director James Cameron is taking us on a trip to the planet Pandora, where the tall, slender, and cyan-toned Na'vi will be waiting for us. In Avatar, Fire and Ash from our parent company, Disney. Now, you may remember the craze in 2009.
This is the hugest deal for me in a long time. I haven't seen anything like this.
When folks were already painting themselves blue, and Avatar was spearing its way toward becoming the highest-grossing film ever. Of course, a lot has changed since then. For one, its star, Zoe Saldana, became a Marvel superhero and, as of this year, an Oscar winner.
Wherever we go.
But also, Cameron's team has spent the past 8 years improving their already groundbreaking special effects.
To me, the fun, it's like Christmas morning every day when I see a new VFX shot come in, and it just looks so real and so cool.
While working simultaneously on 2022's Avatar: The Way of Water, the team has continued to work on what it calls its performance capture technology, which Cameron stresses has nothing to do with another big piece of tech that's come on strong in the past few years.
People think, oh, well, they just make those Avatar movies with computers, you know? And I think that's a very dangerous ground to be on right now because of AI.
Sure.
Right? But we don't use that. We never have. So this
No pressure, just James Cameron's going to direct me. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Recently, ABC's Ginger Z gave us a behind-the-scenes look firsthand as she donned the 54 markers that help the Ava team track the actors' movements. Here's what it looks like when they put it all together.
Tell him what you told me.
Yeah, cut. Great. One take wonder.
Okay, so this is what I mean, I have only seen the very first one, but I think that's why people want to support this film is because it is not AI. It's made with people and technology and effects, and they put all those great things that when it comes to filmmaking to use in a film like this.
Yeah, there is computerized and that kind of effect to it, too. I'm just wondering, though, are we getting to the point where we're kind of really not burnt out about these things, but now we take them for granted?
I think so.
Whereas before, it was like, oh, what a spectacular effect. Oh, and now we're kind of like, yeah, okay, that's great, but what about the story? You know, what about how does the story compel me? Does the story grip you? If you're a fan of this, yeah, absolutely, you're going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, after a while, it's kind of like, oh, another one.
I kind of forget the plot line of Avatar, to be honest. It feels like it came out so long ago, and there's so many years between the movies, but it's because they put so much work into it, so that's worth us going and spending our money to see it.
Yeah. Are you going to go and see it?
I think
No.
so.
Exactly. I don't know if I will either.
Wait till I can stream it.
I saw the first one.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, okay.
I got work to do.
Right? Got to catch up. Two parents are calling it a Christmas miracle.
By the next day, he was up laughing, looking around, playing with his toys like nothing ever happened.
Still to come, how a baby is making history after becoming the first person to ever receive a specialized gene therapy for his rare disease. We'll explain coming up. Also, the U.S. lays out a list of demands to reach a new trade deal with Canada. This as President Donald Trump delivers a politically charged speech on primetime TV. And
Good morning. Get ready for another soggy day on the South Coast. Environment Canada has issued a number of rainfall warnings. I'll tell you which areas will be hit the hardest and how much rain to expect coming up on Your Morning Vancouver.
Good morning. morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Rain is once again falling across Metro Vancouver, with Environment Canada issuing a rainfall warning for the North Shore and northeast parts of the region. It's yet another wet day after weeks of storms that have left the ground saturated out there. Our Reagan Hasegawa is in Coquitlam this morning for us. Good morning, Reagan. It looks really wet out there.
Good morning, Carrie. It is extremely wet this morning. And on top of that, even if you have an umbrella with you, it's incredibly windy as well. It's really picked up in the last couple minutes or so. So even if you have that umbrella, expect to get wet today. Environment Canada says a low pressure system is making its way into this region, bringing 50 to 70 millimeters of rain. While river levels have eased in many areas after earlier storms, the province says additional rainfall will cause stream levels to rise, particularly in already vulnerable spots. Wet flurries may mix in over high terrain this afternoon, especially during heavier bursts of precipitation, with southwesterly gusts reaching up to 80 kilometers per hour in parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Officials warn that already saturated soil, strong winds could bring down trees, leading to debris on roads and possible power outages. The rain expected to taper off this evening, but maybe not in time for the afternoon commute, so do be prepared for that. But as I mentioned, the wind really picking up here in Coquitlam this morning. Carrie.
Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us live this morning. Hang on to that umbrella. Thanks, Reagan. And more on that wind. A special weather statement calling for strong winds is in place for parts of the Fraser Valley and Metro Vancouver. Environment Canada is predicting gusts between 50 and 80 kilometers an hour. They say this could cause tree damage and more power outages. Of course, yesterday, thousands were without power due to a strong frontal system with strong wind and rain. The conditions are expected to start later this afternoon and continue into the evening. Meanwhile, Alberta is digging out after a nasty snowstorm rocked the region with blizzard-like conditions wreaking havoc on the highways. That includes an incredible 100-car pileup on a major highway between Airdrie and Calgary. This morning, southern Saskatchewan could see up to 20 centimeters of snow, along with winds of up to 90 kilometers an hour. Manitoba will get blizzard conditions beginning this afternoon, and an area of northern Ontario will get even heavier snowfall later tonight. Overseas now, Australia's Prime Minister is promising to crack down on hate speech in the wake of the horrific Bondi Beach shooting.
Firstly, the Attorney-General and Minister for Home Affairs will develop a package of legislative reforms to crack down on those who spread hate, division and radicalisation. The Minister for Home Affairs will also have new powers to cancel or reject visas for those who spread hate and division in this country, or would do so if they were allowed to come here.
This comes as hundreds of mourners gathered at a funeral in Sydney to remember a 10-year-old girl killed in the attack. Matilda, whose parents arrived from Australia from Ukraine, was at the Hanukkah celebration with her family when the shots rang out. In honor of Matilda's middle name, Bee, attendees wore bee stickers and bought bee-themed toys and balloons. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is attending a high-stakes EU summit in Germany today. On the agenda is whether to use tens of billions of euros in frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine's war effort.
Це не значить, що це закінчення. Тоді це якась пауза, і коли вирішить Росія.
Says he believes an end to the war would be connected with security guarantees for Ukraine. Under the EU proposal, frozen Russian assets would underwrite a loan to meet Ukraine's military and financial needs over the next 2 years. Belgium fears Russia will retaliate if the plan is approved and prefers that the bloc borrow the money on international markets. The United States has given Canada signals of some major policy changes it needs to make ahead of the renegotiation of the current North American Free Trade Agreement, or CUSMA as it's known in Canada. In a statement to Congress, the Trump administration's top trade representative says Canada must address concerns over market access for U.S. dairy products. They also want Canada to address exports of its dairy products to other countries. Other areas of concern include provincial bans on U.S. alcohol products and Canada's Online Streaming and Online News Act. Meanwhile, a reaction is pouring in after Donald Trump's primetime address to the U.S. During his speech, Trump announced an almost $1,800 holiday bonus for troops, which he says is partly paid for by tariffs.
We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore.
Some speculated Trump would be speaking about an escalating confrontation with Venezuela. Instead, Trump focused on the economy, claiming that prices are falling while blaming Democrats for affordability issues. However, economic data shows U.S. inflation is up while consumer confidence is down. Meanwhile, Trump has also added partisan and subjective plaques to a refashioned West Wing walkway he calls the Presidential Walk of Fame. The move deepens Trump's fingerprints on the White House's aesthetic and continues the Republican president's efforts to bend the telling of the country's history to his liking. The additions include references to sleepy Joe Biden and painting Republican icon Ronald Reagan as a fan of a young Trump. Body cam of the arrest of a Florida woman is going viral. It happened as the woman was walking her dog and joking with her neighbor, but police didn't find anything funny about the situation. Here's ABC's Laura Spencer.
They're coming for you, Sharon! They don't want me. They want What's up?
This morning, newly released police body cam footage from the Villages in Florida is going viral.
We're here for you, ma'am. We're waiting on the detective to get here, but we have with all the information that we do have, you have a warrant for your arrest.
They have to be.
Ma'am, we're not.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
Turns out the woman known as Sharon Neely throughout the community is actually, according to police, Deborah Newton, a woman wanted for allegedly kidnapping her own daughter, Michelle, back in 1983.
I have known for a long time that something was not right, but I've never really had answers to that story.
Kentucky authorities say Michelle was just 3 years old when mom Deborah told her then husband Joe she was taking Michelle to Georgia where she had gotten a new job and a home for the family. But when Joe went to meet them, the two had vanished.
There's been a lot of stories over the years, and I'm sure that my mom has always had her reasons for maybe not wanting to speak. I think we've all had points in our life where we've even made a choice or made a decision that, especially when you're 21, 22, and you don't feel like you have any resources or anyone to go to help you out of that. I think she really tried to do the best she could with the choice that she made.
Over the years, the trail grew cold, despite Deborah at one point being listed on the FBI's top 8 most wanted parental kidnapping fugitives. Following Deborah's recent arrest, Michelle was able to reunite with her father for Thanksgiving and says she doesn't hold any resentment towards her mother.
I think there's a lot of healing that's got to happen between my mom and I. And she has an opportunity to connect with family that's missed her more than she realizes.
Well, a new poll suggests Canadians' level of satisfaction with their government is dropping across the country, especially here in BC. The new numbers from Angus Reid suggest British Columbians' faith in their provincial government has dropped 8 points since March. The top performer is Saskatchewan, with a drop of only 2 points since March. The worst is Newfoundland, plunging 19 points. On the issue of the cost of living, BC ranks the second most unhappy at 78%, just below Ontario. Other top issues across the province include healthcare, housing affordability, and public safety. Well, every year, multiple airlines put on elaborate seasonal events in airports for kids facing serious medical challenges.
We're going to get you to the North Pole as safely and quickly as we can. Thanks, and welcome aboard. Jingle bell, jingle all the way.
Size passengers fly the magical skies and then emerge from the plane to see the big man himself and deliver their wishes. It's a whimsical and welcome distraction for the kids and parents, allowing them to put their worries aside for a day and focus on the magic of the season. Oh, how wonderful. It's like a magical flight to the North Pole to see Santa.
Come on. How sweet is that?
Yeah, that's great that organizations do that, and good on the airlines as well.
Just the smiles on their little faces. I'm tearing up over here. What a beautiful thing they do.
Hey, you know what I just realized?
Yes, what?
1 week from today is the big day. You know the day.
Easter? I know, don't write in. I know it's Christmas. We'll be talking all about Christmas tomorrow because today we've got a lot to get to in the forecast. We're going to take a look at the current temperatures right now. 6 in Chilliwack, 7 in Abbotsford, 7 at YVR. It is windy. It is rainy. Here's a look at the warnings. There's a snowfall warning on the Coquitlam, snowfall warning for the Sea to Sky and Whistler. A wind warning is in effect for Fraser Valley East, winds gusting up to 90 kilometers an hour. Now, there's a special weather statement for Fraser Valley West and Central, so Chilliwack, Abbotsford area. A statement, not a warning, so winds gusting up to about 80 kilometers an hour there. And, of course, the rainfall warning is in effect for parts of Metro Vancouver. So be careful out there. There's also a snowfall warning in the northeastern part of the province and the inland central coast. 10 centimeters expected to fall today. Very messy morning, very, very messy. So if you haven't left already, think about heading out the door now and just be careful. We do get a clearing trend tonight, but tomorrow morning, more rain is in the forecast. So I'll have more coming up on what to expect for the rest of the week and into the weekend. I think you know what's coming. More rain. Carrie.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Caroline. We'll check back. A young boy is making history after becoming the first person to ever receive a specialized gene therapy for his rare disease. This as he gets ready for his first Christmas at home. ABC's Andrea Fujii reports.
This morning, the little boy we've been following for months, who received the first of its kind gene therapy for a potentially fatal disease, is marking major developmental milestones, set to spend his first Christmas at home. Now 16 months old, KJ Muldoon recently took his first steps.
It's all been a miracle. That's the only way to describe it.
Days after he was born, KJ was diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder which causes ammonia to build up in the blood and can lead to brain injury. Earlier this year, he became the first patient in the world to receive a personalized gene editing therapy called CRISPR.
Unfortunately, about 50% of babies pass away from this disease in the first week of life.
The therapy, developed by doctors in Philadelphia, was years in the making, and KJ was successfully treated after 3 infusions.
By the next day, he was up laughing, looking around, playing with his toys like nothing ever happened. KJ.
Since being discharged over the summer, KJ celebrated his first birthday and is growing and thriving.
They were huge Eagles fans, and the day he was born, I ordered a Jalen Hurts jersey, and I just didn't know if he was ever going to wear it. Just to see him do these things that we never thought they were possible have been inspiring.
Amazing. Well, there is a lot of talk about food insecurity these days amid rising costs. And we are speaking with business leader and TV personality Arlene Dixon coming up about a major push to help people in need from coast to coast. That's coming up in our next half hour. But first, the World Happiness Report is out. And it turns out that Canadians under 30 are the unhappiest generation. Up next, we'll speak with one of the founding editors of the survey to learn why this is the case. Stay with us.
The Millionaire Lottery is back. Your ticket supports specialized adult health care and research at VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation. They depend on people like you to help fund the latest equipment and life-saving research through the Millionaire Lottery. The early bird is worth over $227,000. Choose from a Corvette Stingray and a Hyundai Santa Fe, or a private jet experience plus $25,000 cash, or $150,000 cash, plus 40 winners for $1,000 and 20 winners of $500. The Millionaire Lottery. Early bird deadline, midnight, Friday.
Well, the World Happiness Report is out, and according to the survey, Canadians under 30 are now the unhappiest generation. What might help turn things around? Joining us to help us understand what is driving this shift towards unhappiness is founding editor of the World Happiness Report and professor emeritus at UBC, John Hellawell. Good morning, John. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Okay, so Canadians under 30 were the happiest age group as recently as 2011. Now they're the unhappiest. I'm going to ask you more about why we're seeing this drop in happiness among this group of people. But I'm wondering, does it pinpoint who amongst under 30 is the unhappiest? Like, does it differ between like teens and young adulthood?
We analyzed in that report and in our work since for separating by generations as well. The drop is, if anything, more for the Gen Z than for the millennials, and in both for the young adults slightly older than them.
What stands out to you most about why young Canadians have seen such a drop, a sharp drop in happiness?
Well, we're poring over the data, and of course we're comparing the data from the Gallup World Poll with the data from many Statistics Canada surveys, and those surveys show that how people feel about their lives depends a lot on what they're hearing about life around them, and that may help to explain why this drop in youth well-being, which is especially marked in Canada, the United States, Australia, and New Zealand, not really found elsewhere in the world. It may be related to what people are hearing in whatever their feed is for information in these countries. And we're investigating that much more for this coming report.
We know that housing and cost of living often come up. Young people talk about how unattainable owning a home is. How much do economic pressures shape how young people feel about their futures?
Economic pressures matter, but what matters most is what you think about those economic pressures. So people, it's a little bit different. How is my actual life today is a different question from what I feel about the future life. And it's probably true that there's so much bad news around that tends to drag people down. We find, for example, in surveys about health, young people answer higher than older people, of course, because they look and say, oh, my health is just fine. So they focus on what they hear about what's going on around. And what they're hearing in most of the news feeds is negative, both about themselves and their prospects. And there's a real underpinning, of course, that unemployment rates are high for that young group, and job prospects are not as secure as they once were. And of course, housing remains a bigger issue for them than for other Canadians. So it's some mixture of how people are responding to the opportunities they have, as well as those opportunities being more uncertain than they previously were.
Okay, just one final question for you here. And I mean, we know that social media and constant connectivity is often blamed for unhappiness among certain groups of people. But when it comes down to it, what are some of the ways that might help happiness levels bounce back up for this particular age group?
Well, for all age groups, but especially that group which is facing a longer and more uncertain future than those who are already older, reinterpret what's around you, because in fact the world is a much more supportive and benevolent place than people think it is. So reach out to others, make those connections, just see if it's a brighter world than you hear it is, because the evidence is that people who reach out will in fact make lives better for others and of course for themselves.
John Halliwell, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us some insight into this happiness report.
My pleasure.
I'm happy you were here. Thanks, John. Well, going, gone. Why more people are leaving BC than coming in?
Quite frankly, after years of record-breaking numbers of people coming to British Columbia, to Canada, it gives us a moment to breathe.
What this means for our economy coming up, and puppy is checking out under the deck for some balls. Your Thursday morning sidebar is coming up.
Welcome back to CTV, your morning Vancouver to 7:54. It is rainy. It is a Thursday. Yeah, another low pressure system bringing in all kinds of rainfall warnings for Metro Vancouver area. Will dissipate tonight, but then another system moves in tomorrow morning and will remain through the weekend. Don't put those umbrellas away anytime soon. And if that weren't enough, of course, there's a wind warning and special weather statements for wind in effect for parts of the lower mainland as well.
Wow, we had a real yucky stretch the last couple of weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yucky stretch. That's the way I can describe it.
The umbrellas stay out year-round, I think, when you live here.
I know.
So,
that's your forecast.
What we sign up for. All right, let's cheer things up with some sidebar. Well, fashion can be fun, but sometimes the trends aren't for everyone. This woman tried the hair tie trend and failed miserably. The most important thing needed for this look to work, of course, is long, thick hair. And unfortunately, she doesn't have that.
I have not seen this trend, and yeah, you really have to have massively long hair. Caroline, you could do this.
I would not.
But, I mean, it looks cute. It looks cute if you've got the right hair for it.
She doesn't want to do it.
No, she's not interested.
That's going to be a no from me.
Now to a serious fashion faux pas. Lure of lipstick. This little girl found the perfect shade, but couldn't really find the lines.
It's like, where are my lips?
Where does this go?
Kids just think like their mouth is like as big as their face.
Yeah.
And don't you love when they just crank it right up?
Yeah,
they go right up to the top on that.
They don't know how much it costs.
Yeah, that looks like an expensive one, too. I think I know that brand, but yeah.
Oh, she's going to crown the lid right on top of it, too.
I love it. Go crazy. Finally, the nose knows. This curious canine was able to sniff out the lost balls under the deck. Oh. Isn't that crazy?
Wants to get at them.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Don't get stuck now.
Yeah, but he knows where they all are. He can smell them.
How did they get in there?
The Frenchie. Oh. I have no idea. I'm sure these are other... Do you think these are all his?
I think they're just balls over the years that have rolled under there, and he knows they're there.
He's like, all I want for Christmas is to find them all.
Yeah.
Let me at
so
them.
Cute.
Okay, everyone, disassemble the deck. We got to get the balls out.
Yeah.
Call
Stop
the roofer.
Filming. Get it done.
That's right. Anyways, that's all for your sidebar.
Thanks, Mona.
Yeah, of course.
One of Canada's biggest children's hospitals got an early holiday delivery. Still to come, how a professional firefighters association made Christmas extra special for some kids who are spending the holidays in hospital. Also, the Vancouver airport is going to be a very busy place today. A warning if you're traveling. Coming up, how the rest of the holiday season is predicted to look, including the next busiest travel days. Stick around for that. And another rainfall warning's been issued for parts of Metro Vancouver. What you can expect coming up. Well, Mother Nature isn't through with BC yet. We are tracking the heavy rain and powerful winds expected to hit the region today.
I will be voting in favor of closing because I put more value on students in schools than empty buildings.
The oldest school in Vancouver. Why has the school board voted to close it permanently? And some welcome news for drivers across the Lower Mainland as prices at the pump continue to drop. Well, good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, December 18th. Welcome to Your Morning Vancouver. I'm Carrie Adams. Another round of rains moving through Metro Vancouver this morning, with Environment Canada cautioning the wet weather isn't letting up just yet. The North Shore and northeast parts of the region are once again under a rainfall warning. Forecasters say today's system brings more than just rain, especially for communities already soaked from recent storms. CTV's Reagan Hasegawa is in what looks like a very windy Coquitlam for us this morning. Yeah, those winds are really picking up along with the rain there, Reagan. What are you feeling?
Good morning, Carrie. Well, the rain has briefly stopped for now, but it has been absolutely downpouring all morning long. And now the winds are really picking up here, something that Environment Canada has warned about. But it will be a mixed bag today because there's also some wet flurries in the forecast for the higher elevation. So let's break it all down. According to Environment Canada, there's a low pressure system that will track across the south coast today, delivering 50 to 70 millimeters of rain in parts of Metro Vancouver. The concern now is this rain rain falling on already saturated ground, which could quickly overwhelm drainage systems and push up stream levels in vulnerable areas. At higher elevations, rain could briefly mix with wet flurries this afternoon. As the system exits later today, wind gusts are expected to turn strong and gusty with southwesterly gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour, raising the risk of falling trees, debris on roadways, and scattered power outages. The rain is expected to continue into this evening and then taper off, so bad news for anyone during the afternoon commute. But if you are bringing your umbrella out with you this morning to try and avoid getting wet, be cautious because it is very windy this morning. Carrie?
On to it. Okay, Reagan Hasegawa joining us live. Thanks, Reagan. And more on those winds now. A special weather statement is calling for strong winds to hit parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley this afternoon. It comes after a powerful windstorm swept through Metro Vancouver just yesterday, Wednesday, leaving a trail of destruction. From Vancouver to the Tri-Cities and the Fraser Valley, trees all over the south coast were uprooted or snapped in half from the powerful winds. A large tree hit a townhouse complex on Burke Mountain in Coquitlam, shearing the side off of a corner unit. The family that lives there has been displaced now. Other trees landed on cars and power lines. So far, there have been no reports of any injuries.
We went to bed, then all of a sudden we heard the wind kicking up, and it was making a hell of a racket.
The wreaths that are on our windows were banging, and they kept waking us up, and then there was branches falling from trees, and they were hitting the windows and hitting the roof. And got up this morning and we saw that the tree had come down across the street and taken the power lines down.
At the peak of the storm, 120,000 BC Hydro customers were without power. And as the flood cleanup continues in the Fraser Valley, Premier David Eby says he will be calling on the federal government for help. Farmers are still dealing with the mess left behind when the Nooksack River in Washington state spilled its banks last week. Sumas Prairie farms and businesses were flooded, and a section of Highway 1 in Abbotsford was shut down for nearly 48 hours. Eby says the impacts have been devastating, and he will be talking about flood prevention at the First Minister's meeting today with the Prime Minister and other premiers. Ahead of that meeting, Eby cracked a joke about pipelines.
The kids have all these ideas about really expensive, impractical gifts that are just never going to happen. But they've been watching the news, and they think they have a loophole. They've suggested that they enter into an MOU with Santa to be able to achieve what they're hoping for.
Eby has been critical of the Memorandum of Understanding Ottawa recently signed with Alberta, saying it was unacceptable his province was excluded from talks. When asked if Eby plans to raise the MOU during today's meeting, his office said he's looking forward to talking about BC's leadership role in major projects. Tens of thousands of people are expected to cross through Vancouver International Airport today, marking the busiest travel day of the holiday season. More than 76,000 passengers are expected to pass through the airport today. Overall, 1 million people are anticipated to come through YVR during the holiday season, which is defined as between December 1st and January 12th. The next busiest travel days include next Monday, the 22nd, and the following Monday, December 29th. Well, spectacular scenery and the mildest weather in Canada aren't enough to keep everyone in BC. Our population is dropping for the first time since Stats Canada started keeping track. CTV's Martin McMahon takes a closer look at why people are heading for the door.
It gives us a moment to breathe.
BC's Jobs and Economic Growth Minister reacting as the province sees its population drop by a record 14,000 plus in the third quarter of this year, according to Statistics Canada.
We had seen the federal government made a shift many months ago around immigration, and particularly around temporary residents. And the numbers now reflect that change.
An exodus of non-permanent residents is behind the drop, the result of a changing government immigration policy. The latest numbers indicate Canada as a whole has also seen its largest population decline on record.
We're certainly pleased to see the numbers start to balance. We need to ensure that we're able to get those social services up to meet the record numbers that we already have. And as we move forward, we urge the federal government to work with the provinces.
As that population surge fades away, sectors that expanded rapidly during that period will see growth now normalize. So that's on the short term what's going to happen. Over the medium term, however, slower population growth can ease pressure on housing, on infrastructure, public services, and improve the conditions for productivity.
As people leave BC, we're already starting to see rents fall. Vacancies are up, and asking rents have dropped 8.5% in the past 2 years, although the quarterly numbers show interprovincial migration has turned positive again.
It is what you would expect. If Vancouver is more impacted by reduced immigration than the rest of Canada in terms of falling rents, that vacuum sucks up Canadians from elsewhere.
The trend of a declining population could continue. Last month, the federal government indicated it plans to lower its temporary resident targets over the next 3 years. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, the oldest school in Vancouver is set to close permanently. The Vancouver School Board has voted to close Sir Guy Carleton Elementary, a decision close to a decade in the making. The vote was 6-3. The school has been closed since a fire in 2016, and VSB staff noted around $650,000 has been spent to maintain the vacant buildings. They say major capital funding would be needed from the provincial government for the school to be safe and usable. The VSB adds they were denied multiple funding requests to seismically upgrade and repair the buildings. Well, drivers in the Lower Mainland may be getting an early Christmas present. According to analyst GasBuddy.com, fuel prices are falling across the country. Gas prices at some stations can be seen as low as 129.9 cents a litre. Overall, the average gas price in BC is sitting at $1.38 a litre. Analysts say the reason for the drop is a larger increase in oil production and the geopolitical conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Well, turning to sports now, following a stellar season, the Vancouver Whitecaps have re-signed their #1 netminder. The Caps have inked Yohei Takaoka through to June of 2027. The Japanese-born goalie tallied a record 16 clean sheets across all competitions last year in a team-leading 46 starts. The 29-year-old was also named a 2025 MLS All-Star and a finalist for Goalkeeper of the Year. Yeah. It's pretty sharp in net there.
Best news ever.
Yep. Okay, way to go, Whitecaps. Good signing.
We should do a Don Andrews call and answer. Yo, hey, Takaoka. No, too early, too early, never too early. Love to see it. Caps, what a great season. Hopefully more next year and get that big prize. All right, congrats to everyone in the organization for the re-signing. All right, let's take a look at the forecast, shall we? Right now in Vancouver, it is rainy and it is 7 degrees, and it's not going to let up anytime soon. Friends, let's take a look at all of the warnings. A rainfall warning in effect for Metro Vancouver. Expect 50 to 70 millimeters to fall in that little green area. The purple is wind. There is a wind warning in effect for Fraser Valley East and the greater Victoria area. As for the rest of Fraser Valley, it's a special weather statement. So windy, but not a warning. A snowfall warning in effect for Whistler and a snowfall warning for the Coquitlam. There's also a snowfall warning in the northeastern part of the province, Prince George snow squall warning, and a snowfall warning for the central coast, 10 centimeters expected to fall. So we've got a very messy morning and heavy rain throughout the afternoon, but come dinner time, it will clear, and just in time for another system to move in tomorrow to bring even more wet weather. I'll have a more detailed forecast coming up in the full forecast in about 10 minutes or so. Carrie, keep your umbrellas handy.
Okay, will do. Thanks for that. Well, Christmas is just a week away, but Santa Claus is dealing with a lot of merry mail.
They're all very busy, so we thought we should put up a central collection station.
Why an island couple is stepping up to support who they call the Postmaster Elves. We'll have that story still to come. But first, there is a lot of talk about food insecurity, especially at this time of year. Up next, we're speaking with Arlene Dickinson about a major push to help people in need from coast to coast. Stick around for that. You're watching. Well, this is a time of year when food insecurity comes into focus as many people gather for the holidays. And the push is on to help those in need. We're joined now by business leader and TV personality Arlene Dickinson. You know her from Dragon's Den. She's also an ambassador for Second Harvest. Good morning, Arlene. Thanks for taking the time for us today.
My pleasure, Carrie. Thanks for having me on.
And for people who aren't familiar, talk to us a little bit about Second Harvest and some of the work that they're doing in Canada, not only in Canada, but also here in Vancouver.
Yeah, so Second Harvest basically rescues food that was headed to landfills and to waste from restaurants and retailers and manufacturers and farmers, and takes that food and redistributes it across the country to close to 11,000 food banks and charitable organizations to make sure that that food gets onto people's plates.
Yeah, where it should be, and not, as you mentioned, in the food scraps bin or in the landfill or something like that. And I understand this is something that's near and dear to your heart because you yourself experienced food insecurity in your own life at one point. Can you explain that?
I did. We grew up quite poor, and as you know, being immigrants to the country and not having any money, groceries was really a luxury for us. We weren't able to go to the store whenever we felt hungry. We could go to the store whenever we could afford to go to the store, which wasn't as frequently as anybody would like it to be. So I understood what it was like to go to school hungry. I understood what it was like to worry about where our next meal was coming from. And later on in life, when my children were, growing up and I had young children, we were also very, we were poor. We didn't have any money. And so we were constantly worrying about putting food on the plate. And it's really hard. It's very difficult for families right now.
Yeah, and we are hearing more about food insecurity being an issue for families. From your perspective and through your work with Second Harvest, is the issue of food insecurity getting worse in this country?
It is. 1 in 4 Canadians experience food insecurity and are worried about whether or not they can have their next meal. I mean, that's a staggering statistic. Second Harvest provided 95 million meals last year through their program. I mean, just think about that need. It's really growing. Food is becoming more expensive and people are really struggling.
And there's a big fundraising campaign happening right now. Maybe you could tell our viewers a little bit about what Second Harvest is doing right now.
Right. We're holding a fundraising campaign. If you go to secondharvest.ca/Arlene, you can donate there. And what's wonderful about this campaign right now that's on until the end of the year is that for every $1 you donate, the Nikita Foundation will match your donation. So up to $500,000. So right now we're over $100,000 raised. We're hoping to get that up as high as we possibly can so we can access those matching funds and donate as much as we can to Second Harvest and help support the need.
Yeah, great fundraiser. But, it really speaks to the bigger problem that we have in this country. We have the newly implemented National School Food Program. That's potentially a good start. But is it a system? Does there need to be changes to the system when it comes to how companies can be involved? And we talked about some of the grocery stores that Second Harvest works with. Is there sort of a change in the system that needs to take place so these companies can better get food to families who need it rather than it going to waste?
Yeah, Second Harvest has created an app where companies can reach out and, donate as they wish to donate, which makes it much more accessible for organizations to do so. So there is an app at Second Harvest where a company and organization can sign up, and if they have food to donate, they can donate through the app, and they're immediately matched to an organization that can take that food. So things like that. I mean, we also just need to be much more cognizant of our own waste and be thinking about others all the time, and just being kinder and more generous with how we as individuals give, and organizations, of course, can do more by ensuring that they have programs in place, and regulations, the regulatory environment can also do more. We can also make sure that our policies keep up with the need.
Arlene Dickinson joining us this morning to tell us about Second Harvest fundraising campaign that's happening right now. Arlene, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Yeah, you as well. I hope you have a happy holiday.
Yeah, you as well. Stay safe. All right, it is 8:19 here on Your Morning Vancouver. Still to come, Christmas came early for dozens of Canadian families.
I basically told the boys, I said, welcome to Newfoundland, because this is how it is in the winter.
Still to come, the holiday homecoming for a crew of sailors that just spent 6 months at sea. We'll have that still to come.
The children are so important to us. They're stuck at the hospital. We just want to bring them joy and some fun.
One of Canada's biggest children's hospitals got an early holiday delivery. How firefighters help surprise kids who are spending the holidays in the hospital.
Prepare to be spellbound. Harry Potter, a Forbidden Forest experience, is coming to Vancouver's Stanley Park for a limited time. This enchanting illuminated trail invites fans of all ages to step into the magical world of the Forbidden Forest. Enter for a chance to win 4 passes and discover dazzling creatures, cast spells, and create unforgettable memories with your family. Enter online at ctvvancouver.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. Welcome back to CTV, your morning Vancouver. It is 8:22. It is Thursday, and it is another day with active weather, so let's get right to it. Snowfall warning in effect for the Sea to Sky in Whistler. 15 centimeters expected to fall there. Yellow warning for snowfall is in effect for the Coquitlam. A wind warning is in effect for the eastern part of Fraser Valley and also the greater Victoria area. Special weather statement is in place for the rest of Fraser Valley, Abbotsford and Chilliwack. So not a warning, but a statement. And the rainfall warning is still in effect for Metro Vancouver. Snowfall warning in effect for the northeastern part of the province, Prince George under a snow squall warning. And the central inland coast, up to 10 centimeters expected to fall today. So now let's take a closer look at your south coast forecast. Port Hardy, a lot of rain today and 5 degrees. Periods of rain in Campbell River and Comox and a high of 8. Tofino expect up to 50 millimeters of rain today there. Port Alberni 5, Nanaimo 8, Victoria 12. Rain, rain, and rain. More rain on the Sunshine Coast, 6 degrees there. Snowfall warning in effect for Whistler, high of 1 degree and 7 degrees in Squamish. As for the lower mainland, between 5 and 9 degrees, and yes, rain. We will get some clearing tonight, but just in time for rush hour tomorrow. Another system rolls in, bringing in some more rain, and that will last through the weekend. Don't put those umbrellas away anytime soon. Carrie?
It doesn't sound like it. Okay, thanks, Caroline. Well, Santa Claus is making some early deliveries, visiting one of Canada's biggest children's hospitals. And the big man in red got some help from a crew of people who also dressed up for their job. CTV's Patricia Bowl has more.
When outside Chio there arose such a clatter, it's Santa in truck, not sleigh, ascending the ladder.
The repeller elves have come down to say hi to the kids through the windows at Chio.
A drop-in visit from firefighters carries its own kind of Christmas magic.
Pretty cool watching those guys come over the roof, eh, Ivy?
It's kids like 4.5-year-old Ivy spending time in hospital over the holidays for treatment for leukemia.
We just got admitted for our last month of chemo yesterday.
Who keep firefighters coming back.
The children are so important to us. They're stuck at the hospital. We just want to bring them joy and some fun, and we're happy to bring our big donation every year. $50,000!
Money from the Professional Firefighters Association supports their commitment to the purchase of a laser for the burn ward to help with healing for kids who suffer serious burns.
Just to say thank you to the firefighters for once again coming in and supporting the work we do here, brightening the day for the kids that are here, and quite frankly, brightening the day for all of us as we celebrate the holidays here at Chio.
Of course, being in hospital at Christmas, tough as it is, doesn't keep you from being a regular kid. And big check or no, heroes or no, firefighters are still fair game.
What do firefighters like to eat with their cheese?
Crackers.
Firecrackers.
Patricia Bowl, CTV News.
I just love how organizations go that extra mile to make the holiday special for kids in the hospital, because it's, you know, they get great care, but it's not a great place to be during the holidays. At Christmas time, when you're a kid,
Yeah, and just makes the family so much happier. Just some bit of joy in and amongst all of the sadness and pain.
Mm-hmm. And for the caregivers too, right? Like at the end of the day, obviously you're taking care of someone in your family who's sick, but you are also bearing so much stress and burden knowing that they're there, that to have that relief from someone, just even for an hour where I don't have to like try so hard to like alleviate my child's pain. Yeah. That is everything. That's worth it.
And they see the look on their kids' faces.
Yeah.
Kids, they're happy.
Kids.
So happy.
To be kids.
It's Christmas time. 8:26. Here's the view outside. And this is Robson Street this morning. Yeah, kind of a wet, chilly, well, very typical December day, I guess. Here now is a look at your top stories. once again falling across Metro Vancouver, with Environment Canada issuing a rainfall warning for the North Shore and northeast parts of the region. It's yet another wet day after weeks of storms that have left the ground saturated. Our Reagan Hasegawa is in Coquitlam. Reagan, looks pretty wet out there, although you don't have your umbrella right now.
Good morning, Carrie. It has been really rainy all morning long, but taking a look at the sky, we are in a little bit of pocket of no rain, but surrounded by dark clouds. So I don't think more showers are long away. It's also incredibly windy this morning. So let's take a look at all of the Environment Canada warnings. According to forecasters, a low pressure system, it's making its way across the south coast, bringing 50 to 70 millimeters of rain, while river levels have eased in many areas after earlier storms. Province says additional rainfall could cause stream levels to rise, particularly in already vulnerable spots. Wet flurries may also mix in over higher terrain this afternoon, especially during heavier bursts of precipitation. Later today, winds are expected to shift and strengthen, with southwesterly gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour for parts of Metro Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Officials warn that with already saturated soil, strong winds could bring down trees, leading to debris on roads and possible power outages. So the rain is expected to ease sometime this evening, but not in time for the afternoon commute. So be aware of that when you are driving. There could be lots of pooling water on the roads. And if you have your umbrella out this morning, be aware some of those wind gusts really sneak up on you and can be quite powerful. Carrie?
Yeah, okay, be careful out there. Reagan Hasegawa joining us. Thanks, Reagan. And more on the wind now. A special weather statement calling for strong winds is in place for parts of the Fraser Valley and Metro Vancouver. Environment Canada is predicting gusts between 50 and 80 kilometers an hour. They say this could cause tree damage and power outages. We've already seen that. Yesterday, thousands were without power due to that strong frontal system with strong wind and rain that came through. The conditions are expected to start later this afternoon and continue into the evening. Alberta is digging out after a nasty snowstorm rocked the region with blizzard-like conditions, wreaking havoc on the roads. That includes an incredible 100-car pileup on a major highway between Airdrie and Calgary. This morning, southern Saskatchewan could see up to 20 centimeters of snow, along with winds of up to 90 kilometers an hour. Manitoba will get blizzard conditions beginning this afternoon, and an area of northern Ontario will get even heavier snowfall later tonight. We are hearing more from the newest member of the federal Liberal Party after he crossed the floor from the Conservatives earlier this month.
Situations where I believe that at this point is the right approach.
Michael Maw speaking in an exclusive interview with CTV News. His decision to leave the Conservative caucus and join the Liberals has brought Mark Carney's party to within one seat of a majority. Stateside now, reaction is pouring in after Donald Trump's primetime address to the U.S. During his speech, Trump announced an almost $1,800 holiday bonus for troops, which he says is partly paid for by tariffs.
We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore.
Some speculated Trump would be speaking about an escalating confrontation with Venezuela. Instead, Trump focused on the economy, claiming that prices are falling while blaming Democrats for affordability issues. However, economic data shows U.S. inflation is up while consumer confidence is down. We're hearing from the children of Rob and Michelle Reiner for the first time since the couple were found dead in their Los Angeles home. In a statement, Jake and Romy Reiner say they are feeling unimaginable pain at the loss of their parents, who were also their best friends. They add they are grateful for the outpouring of support they have received. On Sunday, Rob Reiner and his wife were found dead from apparent stab wounds in their home. Their other son, Nick, made his first court appearance yesterday. He has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Well, now to an amazing rescue caught on camera outside of Chicago. The video is heart-pounding. Officers jumping into an icy pond in the dark, temperatures hovering around 0 degrees, and a vehicle carrying 3 people submerged in the water. ABC's Sam Champion has the story.
We're coming. Hang tight, okay? Hang tight, hang tight.
This morning, watch dramatic body camera video showing the moment Illinois police officers raced to save
3 people trapped in the frigid water of a frozen pond. Glendale Heights police responding to reports that a car crashed into the frigid waters outside of Chicago. Air temperature the coldest of the season so far, just 1 degree.
There's a vehicle that drove into a pond. 3 subjects possibly in the water.
Officers Dennis Dachura and Marco Lamibao rushing to the scene, finding the vehicle submerged in 12 to 14 feet of water as the passengers struggled to get out of the car and out of the pond.
We started to see, people's hands in the water or reaching out for air or for just to stay afloat.
The responding officers braving the slippery ice and frigid water, even using shovels to help the victims stay afloat.
You're okay? I'm not gonna let go. You're okay? I'm not gonna let go, okay?
At one point, they retrieve a sledgehammer to move the thick ice and reach down to the victims.
Can you reach up? Can you reach up? No. Come on. Let's go. Come on.
The two then working together to pull each victim out of the pond and up onto the ice.
At that point, it was life or death, and we both decided to choose life, and we're not going to let anything happen on our end.
Well, a holiday roller coaster for one family.
Our passports are still out there, and we don't really know what to do at this point.
A Vancouver woman's life put on hold when a courier company lost her passport. I'll tell you what happened when CTV started looking into it. And
I basically told the boys, I said, welcome to Newfoundland, because this is how it is in the winter.
Christmas just came early for dozens of Canadian families. The holiday homecoming for a crew of sailors that spent 6 months at sea. That's coming up.
The Millionaire Lottery is back. Your ticket supports specialized adult health care and research at VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation. They depend on people like you to help fund the latest equipment and life-saving research through the Millionaire Lottery. Early bird is worth over $227,000. Choose from a Corvette Stingray and a Hyundai Santa Fe, or a private jet experience plus $25,000 cash, or $150,000 cash, plus 40 winners for $1,000 and 20 winners of $500. The Millionaire Lottery. Early bird deadline, midnight Friday.
With all the wet weather we've been experiencing, coupled with holiday stress and shopping, right now is probably the perfect time to start daydreaming about your next trip. Joining us this morning with some inspiration to do just that is Kim Tobias from Oceana Cruises. Good morning, Kim.
Thank you, Mona. Good morning. This is the perfect day to be talking about getting away, having a beautiful cruise, hopefully somewhere warm.
This atmospheric river is not my vibe. I need to get away from it, and you're going to inspire us to do just that. So talk to us about Oceana Cruises and what makes it unique.
Oceana Cruises is lovely because it is a small ship sailing experience. So our ships range in size from 600 guests to 1,200 guests. And having a small ship makes you feel like family when you come on board. We can go into small little ports of call. No one else is around you. You can really immerse yourself in the destination that you're visiting. The staff, again, makes you just feel like family the moment you walk on board. There's no lineups, nice long days in port. And then some of the ports of call we can even overnight in places like Bordeaux. So
that's lovely.
Yeah.
Now, talk to us a little bit about your small ship sailing experience. So you mentioned you have a wide range of if someone wants a smaller boat or a larger one. Why do guests love the small ship sailing experience?
Well, it's going into really intimate ports of call. And when we're going into those really intimate ports of call, no one else is around you. So you really have an immersive travel experience. You can get out and explore without lots of people around you. We can do fun things like take you off the ship and go into do things like a culinary experience, excursion. Our chefs will take you into that port of call. For example, Bordeaux, where we overnight. We have longer days in port, overnighting in places like France, Iceland, and South Pacific. So it's really nice to be into port early, spend the day, and then, as I said, often overnighting.
Definitely. So talk to us about some of the trending destinations right now
What are you seeing selling out right now?
Trending destinations we've seen a lot in the South Pacific, so Tahiti, Fiji, New Zealand as well. We also see trend into Iceland, into Greenland. And the other trend is to go to Japan. So we've got some really interesting cruises in Japan. Typically, we just have been going in the spring, but now we're going to be introducing fall sailing in Japan. So that's going to be starting in 2027 on our beautiful ship of around 1,200 guests. So some really interesting itineraries.
That sounds fantastic. Now, what itineraries do you have from the Port of Vancouver?
Well, from Vancouver, we have a couple of opportunities to sail round trip into Alaska.
Wow.
So we've got 2 7-night sailings in September, the 5th and the 12th. When the Riviera is finished doing those sailings, she's going to be making her way on September 19th from Vancouver. She's going to be doing a couple stops in Alaska before she makes her way into Hawaii.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's a total of 16-day sailing. And then after Hawaii, she carries on. If you're so inclined, you want to stay on and visit the beautiful ports of call of Fiji, Tahiti. And then if you have 58 days to spend with us, we would love for you to join us all the way through to Bali on that sailing.
Wow, that sounds incredible, Kim. I'm sure people, once they get on, they don't want to get off. So
exactly.
That's a great extender trip there. Thank you so much for your time with us this morning and all the inspiration. That's Kim Tobias from Oceania Cruises. And of course, if you want to find out more, you can head over to your local Expedia Cruises office. They're all over the Lower Mainland, or you can head to the website you see on your screen. Thanks so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, it's an early Christmas gift for dozens of military families. After a 6-month overseas mission, the crew of HMCS St. John's is back on dry land. CTV's Garrett Berry has more on the heartfelt holiday homecoming.
After months overseas working alongside NATO allies, the crew of HMCS St. John's are back in St. John's tonight, a namesake visit, a tradition in the Navy.
I basically told the boys, I said, welcome to Newfoundland, because this is how it is in the winter.
The windy journey home only sweetened the arrival. For some Newfoundlanders on board, a special stop here is quite a way to mark the occasion.
Well, I'll tell you, last night on watch, so I'm an MCR watchkeeper, and we had a little kitchen party going on. Obviously, we couldn't drink at sea, but we had I was playing the spoons, we had an ugly stick, somebody brought a guitar, so we have fun.
To celebrate today, the crew donated an additional $15,000 to Make-A-Wish Canada, continuing a tradition that started almost 30 years ago. This contribution takes the collective total to $2 million. Their deployment overseas was to support NATO's defense efforts in the Mediterranean and North Atlantic. The ship has participated in these very same groups before, but this time it was against a backdrop of active war in Ukraine.
In some ways it does feel like it could be routine, but I agree that it felt a bit different this time. I think certainly for people as we were getting ready to go, looking at what's going on in the international sphere.
The next and final stop, Halifax, where the crew will say bittersweet goodbyes.
Closeness that you have with the crew. Honestly, they become your family all at once. So it's sweet.
Many of these men and women will be home for the holidays. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Oh, so wonderful that they can come home for the holidays. What a treat.
All of these beautiful holiday stories just tugging at the heartstrings, Carrie.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time.
Love it. All the happiness, all the love. All right, let's take a look at the forecast because there's no happiness or love today when it comes to the weather. It is rainy. It is 7 degrees out there, and it's not lightening up anytime soon. All right, we've got a snowfall warning on the Coquitlam, snowfall warning on the Sea to Sky. Wind warning is in effect for the eastern part of Fraser Valley and also the Greater Victoria area. A special weather statement is in place for Abbotsford and Chilliwack, so the rest of Fraser Valley. And of course, the rainfall warning is in effect for Metro Vancouver. 50 to 70 millimeters expected to fall. Snowfall warning for the northeastern part of the province. No squall warning for Prince George. And for the inland sections, the central inland sections, 10 centimeters expected to fall. All right. Here's a look at our morning. Very, very rainy commute and very rainy into this afternoon. But tonight, some clearing. But we've got more rain on the way in the form of another low pressure system moving in. And it's going to bring rain in through tomorrow and into the weekend. Hooray. So this is a look at your 5-day forecast. Joy, happiness, rain. Yes, don't put your umbrellas away anytime soon. And with that, now let's check in with Mona. Who you got over there, Mona?
Thanks, Caroline. Well, when it comes to gifts, the best ones are usually the ones that you will get the most use out of. So from precision knives to the tools that keep them performing at their best, House of Knives has ideas that can make any home chef really take it to the next level. And joining us this morning to discuss is House of Knives owner Andre. Good morning, Andre.
Good morning, Mona.
Thank you so much for coming in. Obviously, we're in that crunch time where everyone's like, okay, there's one person on my list that has everything. So what can I get them to make their lives better?
Yeah.
So you're saying knives.
Knives. Most practical thing. Everyone eats, everyone cooks, right?
That's right.
So there's nothing better than giving a gift that inspires people.
Yeah.
Like if you think of yourself, you get a brand new set of runners, you want to go to the gym, you want to go for a run.
Totally.
Knives are no different. I'm always amazed how many people come and say, my God, I've been cooking for decades and I don't have a good knife. I should have got one decades ago.
Totally.
Right.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about knife maintenance. So you have a number of knives here.
Yep.
Talk to us about the different ones here and how you maintain them over the years.
Sure. 3 most popular styles right now still. The chef's knife, or cook's knife, a lot of people call it, is still our go-to. People who don't have a good knife, this is what I definitely recommend they start with. And we have some phenomenal values going on right now from Shun. Different colors, different styles of them. But they're all typically 8 inches in length, and they allow you to rock chop on the cutting board, so it's very versatile. But I'm going to talk to you about 2 other styles that are very popular.
Okay.
This is called the Nikiri. Very rectangular shape, like a small cleaver. And the advantage of that is quite often people are cutting with a chef's knife. You experience this. I don't know if you do the same, but you may be cutting something delicate like celery and cutting, and it's like, oh, what the heck happened? It's not cutting all the way through.
It's not coming apart. Like,
right?
Look at this.
And because of the curvature of the blade, you don't get that flesh cut. But the Nikiri is, in Japanese, translates to knife for cutting greens. So it gives you always a very flesh cut all the time to the cutting board.
They're all coming apart.
And they all come apart because you've got that flesh cut.
Wow.
And the other style now that's becoming really popular is a hybrid. Now, the only downfall some people find with Nikiri is it doesn't give you that fine point to work with like this new Bunka style. This is from Suncraft's finest. Just a beautiful aesthetic knife.
That is
and very
so
inspiring,
gorgeous.
right? When you see something, it's like driving a Ferrari versus a Toyota, right? You feel inspired.
Look at this black over here. That's so nice. Okay, so what are you going to do with this one?
So this one here, a little bit shorter. That's the trend of it. Still fine points, so you work delicately with it. But something like an onion, right? You can still work very quickly with it and cut.
Wow. Wash your finger now.
Yeah.
But you always say this, and I love it. The safest knife, a sharp knife is a safe knife.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? And why is that?
Just because it's predictable, right? A lot of accidents happen on knives because they slip off foods as you try and cut them when they're not quite as sharp as they could or should be. And in terms of keeping a knife sharp, we still have our traditional honing rod, which is the most common way people keep the knife sharp.
Yeah.
This one still continues to be our most popular because it's an all-in-one. It's got dual grit and fine grit all-in-one, which is rare. But there are things people don't take into consideration that aids to dulling knives. A good cutting board, like this is a larchwood board made in Canada here. So, you know, a lot of concerns about microplastics. So a good wood cutting board is no substitution for it.
That's right. And can you cut anything on a wooden cutting board? Like, can you mix like your meats and your veggies on the same cutting board?
You just want to make sure you sanitize between so you don't get cross-contamination.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always recommend half a cap full of bleach and rinse water will kill anything that you're worried about.
Okay, bleach and water.
And also, if you want to sharpen knives, this still continues to be our most popular category, what they call the rolling sharpener. And this is just, you know, all about the factor of it. A lot of people, you know, purists may say, oh, it's not the greatest knife sharpener. But at the end of the day, it's what you're most comfortable using. So this makes it very user-friendly. It just sticks on there, magnets, and it sets the angles for you. And basically, you just set the sharpener on the side here, and you can try it, Mona. You can just roll it along there. And that takes the guesswork of it, because when it comes to honing or sharpening, it's all about having the correct angle.
Okay, so this is right now at a 17
degrees. Yeah.
What is that good for?
So 17 degrees, the more acute angle, the lower angle you go, the sharper it is, but the less durable it is. So this one is great because it gives you the ability to choose and dictate what's more important to you, the durability of that knife edge or the sharpness of it.
You know how I recently found out my knife wasn't sharp enough is I dropped it while I was washing it, and I just got a tiny cut instead of like a big cut.
Normally,
so I was like, okay, I should probably
really sharpen this.
Yeah, and because a sharp knife, I mean, it's just like, a surgeon doing work, right? You heal faster if you get cut with a sharp knife.
Totally. It was just a little paper clip.
Yeah.
Anyways, all of this is available at House of Knives. You have several locations across the Lower Mainland. Closest one to us is probably Park Royal.
Park Royal or Metrotown in Burnaby.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you can get a whole array of items for your kitchen, for your home, all kinds of things for everything on your wish list. So I'll throw it back to you.
Great gift ideas. Thanks, Mona. Well, Christmas may be just a week away, but Santa Claus is still dealing with a lot of merry mail.
They're all very busy, so we thought we should put up a central collection station.
Why a Vancouver Island couple is stepping up to support who they call the Postmaster Elves. Stay with us. Well, a Vancouver mother was sent on a holiday roller coaster after her passport and visa went missing in the mail. She was stranded with her career on hold and desperate for a solution. CTV's Craig Krause has the story.
Days before Christmas, a Vancouver family received an unwelcome surprise.
Our passports are still out there, and we don't really know what to do at this point.
Gabrielle Van Claveren and her daughter's passport and visa were nowhere to be found. A devastating blow to the family who put their faith in Purelator delivering their documents in time for the holidays, forcing her to hit pause on her photography career in Los Angeles.
Purelator initiated originally a priority trace, which was a 3-day process for them, and just closed the trace, sort of abruptly and briefly saying that they have not located the shipment and it's now not deliverable.
So we typed her tracking number into the Purelator tracker, and what we found, you can see it here, that the package left Toronto on December 8th before a short stay in Mount Hope sorting facility, and then on December 9th, there was a weather delay before it arrived in Richmond.
Let's file a trace, see if we can locate it.
But hours after CTV News contacted Purelator about the situation, Van Claveren was hit with a Christmas miracle. All right, Gabrielle, what are you holding in your hands?
This is it. This is my recovered passport and visas, which is just surreal that we've even found this. I can't even tell you.
A roadblock now erased, her career back on track as they set off for Southern California in the coming weeks.
I'm just super grateful, and I honestly think it's just that collective pressure that we put on.
Craig Krause, CTV News, Vancouver.
Delivery companies are dealing with a lot of packages right now, but that's one you don't want to lose.
No,
the
no
passport.
kidding. No kidding.
Yikes.
I would be so nervous to send my passport in the mail.
Right.
New fear unlocked now.
Right. Next level for sure. A Vancouver Island community is adding extra magic to the holidays, one mailbox at a time. In this morning's Sawatsky sign-off, Adam shows us how a simple idea in Colwood is making letters to Santa even more special.
Jingle bells.
Although Finn is a fan of all things festive,
Santa just comes on a sleigh with his reindeer.
Although the 3-year-old and his baby brother even met the big guy at the mall,
He said, ho, ho, ho.
Finn had never considered sending a letter to Santa until his mom happened upon an unexpected invitation in the neighborhood.
Oh, I just thought it was really sweet.
The boxes were designed and built by Mike and his wife in the hopes of helping who they call the Postmaster Elves.
They're all very busy, so we thought we should put up a central collection station.
A place to post letters to the North Pole and another to receive personalized replies.
It adds another element to the magic and excitement of Christmas.
So we just put a letter in there. I didn't know what to expect.
Well, based on weekly reports about the letters that Mike says they receive from Santa's workshop, this year's gift requests have ranged from cuddly stuffed toys to full-sleeve tattoos.
Not sure how Santa will deal with that, or if Santa might have to consult with Mum and Dad.
Mike says it's also heartening to hear that the children's letters include not just their wants, but their wishes for the well-being of others, which this volunteer can relate to.
Right now I'm involved with the Cancer Driveline.
Mike has spent more than a decade traveling more than 7,000 kilometers a year to drive cancer patients to and from their appointments.
Just being a part of the community is to do things for the community.
2 days after dropping off the letter, Finn and Jenna picked up their handwritten reply, which ended with praise for the boy being so positive and includes a bell that says believe.
It was really cute. He loves it. As you can see from the letter, we've read it about 50 times.
While Jenna is filled with gratitude and Mike with delight,
It's just a joy to be able to be a part of providing joy.
Finn is feeling so festive,
I'm really happy.
so happy, he just might spend the rest of the holiday season.
Laughing all the way.
Adam Sawatsky,
Ha ha ha.
CTV News,
Merry Christmas.
Colwood.
Oh, he's happy. His shirt says Mary, and that's what he is.
Yes, absolutely.
Merry Christmas and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you,
There you
Carrie.
Oh, surprise.
Oh, there you go. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. What a beautiful
There you
cake.
go. Yes. It's very
Happy
nice.
birthday, Carrie.
Did you make this, Mona?
No, I did not make that.
Oh, because you're such a great
It was
baker.
way too nice.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
You know,
Thank you so much.
It's Steven Spielberg's birthday today, too. Christina Aguilera, Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Keith Richards.
Star.
But this is the real superstar right here. That's absolutely
Nice. Thank you. I've been in this show so long, it's pretty hard to surprise me, you guys.
I
a lot of birthdays.
to get these.
The challenge is on for next year. We got a year.
Every year I think this is the year I get Chippendales. I mean,
Oh,
doesn't
boy.
happen.
Their magic mic comes on after the show, Carrie.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you going to do today?
Well, I'm getting a mammogram.
Well, you know what? That's a great reminder for folks. You're of service to others.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
called
And
life.
eating cake.
And I'll eat some
Eat
cake,
cake,
yeah.
there
And I'm getting my fireplace maintained. So, yeah. It's going to be a great birthday, everyone.
Oh, Carrie, you know how to party.
This is 55.
That's right. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you never looked better.
Thank you.
Happy birthday
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Carrie.